and your Falcons of Franklin Christian Academy. We ask all those who can, please stand, remove your hats for the invocation to be given by FCA's headmaster, Hugh Harris.
Let's pray. Father in heaven, we thank you for a beautiful evening, an opportunity to come together as two communities, two schools who have Christ at the center. Father, for this, the memories that we have of this day and what it means to our country, to individuals, and who we will honor tonight. Father, we want to honor you first and foremost. May all the things that are said and done here be to your glory. Protect our students. Protect our athletes. Father, thank you for our officials. Give them wisdom tonight. Thank you for our coaches and our families, their commitment to their schools in this game. Father, I thank you for the teammates, the laughter, the fun, the hard work that it's brought us to this point tonight. We pray in your son's name. Amen.
"19 years ago today, the United States was in the throes of a major terrorist attack. We came together as a nation, watching as the firefighters, EMS workers, and police officers in cities like New York and D.C. bravely engaged in rescue and recovery efforts. Then we watched as the men and women of the United States Armed Forces fought to defend our nation from its enemies and to secure freedoms for other innocent victims of these terrorists around the world. On this, the anniversary of 9/11, the Falcons wish to recognize those within our own FCA family who have served our country in the same way. Join us now in showing honor and gratitude to some of these first responders and members of the United States Armed Forces here tonight. Mr. Terry Luker, retired First Class Petty Officer, U.S. Navy. Ms. Brooke Beverly Salorzo, retired active duty U.S. Air Force. Mr. Dan Compass, retired U.S. Marine Corps. Mr. Ira William Eugene Hamblin, retired Staff Sergeant, U.S. Army. Mr. Orville Dean Alsup, retired Third Class Petty Officer, U.S. Navy. Dr. Brad Farrow, retired Lieutenant, U.S. Navy. Mr. Sam Donnelly, retired Lieutenant Colonel, U.S. Army. Mr. Terry Belkey, retired Commander, U.S. Navy. Mr. Chris Mosley, Engineer and AEMT, Brentwood Fire and Rescue. Mr. Avery Ritchie, retired Sergeant, U.S. Army, and investigator for the District Attorney, Redondo Beach, San Diego Police Department. Mr. Dan Ritchie, retired SWAT Team Officer, Redondo Beach Police Department. We also wish to pay tribute tonight to two former FCA Falcon wide receivers who are currently serving as active duty corporals in the U.S. Marine Corps. Logan and Bennett Carpenter both played wide receiver on the 2015 MTAC Championship football team. Their younger brothers, Davis and Owen, will play the same positions on tonight's squad. Logan and Bennett are currently based at Camp Lejeune in North Carolina. They have been deployed to over 6 countries worldwide. They look forward to returning to Franklin when their tour of duty is complete next October. We are so proud of the Carpenters for representing our country and our school. We are thankful to all of these here tonight and the thousands of others that they represent for their service and their sacrifice. Now, please rise and join us in the singing of our national anthem, led by Falcon parent, Todd Smith.
Oh, say, can't you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, say, can't you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, say, can't you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, say, can't you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, say, can't you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, say, can't you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, say, can't you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad strip O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And leave it to Melanie Sutton and company for the Franklin Christian Academy family to remember those who have fallen, remembered, and never forgotten. But tonight, on the anniversary of 9/11, a football game is set to be played here. The opening game for two new head coaches in the newly rebranded Tennessee State Independent Athletic Association. It's the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week for the South Haven Christian School Patriots and the Franklin Christian Academy Falcons. We welcome you all inside the broadcast booth. I'm Spencer Thompson. Pleasure to have you guys in what's set to be another exciting game here on 8-Man Extreme. South Haven Christian School, everyone knows they won the state championship in a heartbreaker in a heart-wrenching game in 2017. But after that, they've had their struggles. 2018, no wins. 2019, managed to get a few wins in division. But meanwhile, for the Patriots, they have a new head coach in James Sawyers, and they're looking to be just as exciting and incredible as ever. For Franklin Christian Academy, in Tim Johnson, their new head coach, since 2017, they have not made it back to the playoffs, but they're looking to make a change there. And I will get just a few seconds on air for Zachary Lone as we'll talk about this in a little bit because it's kickoff here in Franklin, Tennessee. Welcome again, everybody, to the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week. I'm Spencer Thompson alongside Zachary Lone. And Zachary, it's looking to be an incredible matchup between two teams that a lot of people didn't know what was going to happen in the offseason with the coaching changes, but at least for Franklin Christian, it's looking like it's going to be a pretty exciting game for their home opener.
Oh, yeah, definitely. With everything that went on this summer, it's always going to be tough being a new head coach in these circumstances, but I mean, from what we gathered, it sounded like FCA is ready, and they're ready to go. Both teams look ready for tonight.
And Franklin Christian Academy tried an onside kick to be surprising and sneaky, but South Haven not having any of it, so they start with amazing field advantage at midfield. What else can be said about Andrew Crawley, the starting quarterback for South Haven Christian? Was a freshman when he won that state championship back in 2017, and now as a senior, he leads the helm under his father, Michael Crawley, the offensive coordinator. Here's a rush up the middle. Noah Starnes trying to push through, only gets a gain of about a yard. And for South Haven's offense, also led by Emmanuel Dang, another freshman who did not start in that 2017 MTEC championship, but he's just as incredible as ever and looking for a senior year to bring another state championship back home to Springfield.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And that's what's good for SHCS. They have veteran leadership. Even though they do have a new head coach, their leadership will carry them pretty far this year.
They still have Jason Zimmerman on the coaching staff. James Sawyers took over the head coach and defensive coordinator position. As Crawley gets a quick toss out to Atkinson. Atkinson trying to weave through, but that Falcon defense meets him immediately at the 45-yard line. Make that a 3rd and 5 coming up for the Patriots.
And that, if you're SHCS, that's what you want there. You want to get Crawley going a little, get a little bit of momentum.
Crawley's pass.
Watch the whole game as the Falcons usually swarm to the ball.
Carpenter. Be 3rd
as was on display as that last play.
The Falcon defense has been coordinated for many, many years by Coach Shaka Hill, one of the pivotal leaders for Franklin Christian's defensive side and for their team entirely. as their defense tries to stop the first down here. Noah Starnes again carrying the ball is going to get a first down, a little bit more. Amazing collision. Davis Carpenter getting the stoppage there, and they will rule it for a first down, and the Patriots with an incredible rush.
I don't know if he might have fumbled right at the end right there.
Carry.
As we're about to see a replay, maybe.
Gain of 8.
Here we go,
Patriots
outside.
have it 1st and 10. It's a foul.
A little bit blurry on there, but
There.
the Kings
Oh,
up.
he did. Right, but he may have hit the ground first. Good call by the officials. Emphatic about it. And here we go. First down for SHCS.
A lot of games going on in the TSIAA tonight, and we'll get you the scoring updates for those at halftime or as any big scoring updates come in. As the Patriots are marching down in Falcons territory. Emmanuel Dang's first carry of the season results in a 2-yard gain for a 2nd and 8.
And that was read right there by the FCA defensive line. Went right down the middle, and Dang got good enough. Was good, just gained 2 yards there.
Be 2nd and 8.
And the change, of course, for the South Haven team, they've got headsets on the sideline. Seems to be the trend that a lot of high schools across the nation are starting to go into. Have that eye-in-the-sky perspective. We're on the 3rd level of the scaffolding, fortunately, as South Haven team got their guys down on the 2nd level. But higher-up perspective is giving them an incredible insight. As Crawley, under pressure, is brought down in the backfield. Asa Sheets, the senior, brings him down.
And let's see if we can see that again. What great penetration there. I think here comes the replay. Right here. Here we go.
3rd and 13.
Bringing up a 3rd and 13. It's a little blurry, but gets to the line, and right off the edge right here, play was read beautifully, and Crawley had no chance there. Great sack there by FCA.
That defensive line just weaving through, and Asa Sheets has been a pivotal member for Franklin Christian, both on the offensive and defensive side. It's a reason why he was an all-star last year with the, unfortunately, now defunct all-star game. Crawley, left side to Emmanuel Dang, tries to get the catch, but just overthrown by a hair, incomplete.
That was just out of his reach. If that was a second later, that might have been complete. But FCA stood strong there, forced him to the outside, and Crawley just barely overthrew him. But here we go, it's 4th down.
On the 40-yard line, the question is, you try to pin him deep here, do you go for it? But we've seen, of course, Michael Crawley, the offensive coordinator for South Haven. They've weaved up plenty of different strategies in the past, so we're going to see what they're capable of on this 4th down.
And here we go. And if you're SHCS right here, you're willing to take this risk. If you get it, fine. But if not, you're still on their side of the field, so it's not like you're giving up bad field position.
4th and 14. They're going to go for it. Give it to Emmanuel Dang. Is he going to plow through here? Gets a push-off. Not enough for the first down, but it's actually a smart move on the Patriots' part because they give the Falcons not as good a field advantage.
And, yes, that was a great play call. Good stop by FCA, but if you're South Haven there, that's exactly what you want. You want to get a few more yards, get it to about the 31, 32, and then force them deep. That's almost as good as any punt right there. Because then, even since they didn't get it, you have the chance of getting it.
So now we'll see the Falcons on their first offensive drive of the season. Quarterback in Zach Dooley has been with the program since middle school. Dooley to the left. The catch is made. Nathan Ritchie, the freshman, gets a catch in close to a first down, but a big gain there for Ritchie.
And that is what you want on your first play. Like South Haven, get a few yards, get your quarterback going, and then you're good.
Check that, a gain of 6.
And then there we go. Here we go. It's 4 or 5 yards for a first down.
So now a 2nd down and 4. Toss in the backfield is overthrown, and Dooley smartly falls on it. Big loss on the play, so now what was a 2nd and 4 is now going to be about a 3rd down and 15.
And good heads-up play there by Dooley to notice that there was a fumble, turn around, go, fall on it. And even though it was a big loss, it could have been way worse than it actually was.
From the 23-yard line.
We've seen a lot worse losses in games in the last few weeks. And it's expected with the first few games of the season. This is partially a time, especially when you couldn't have the jamboree or scrimmages. This is the time to work out the kinks. 3rd and long. Dooley with the deep toss across the middle to Carpenter. How about that catch? Loses the football, and South Haven turns it over. The fumble recovery by Noah Starnes. But is that ruled a catch?
They are ruling that a catch. That's gonna be South Haven's ball. Let's see if we can get this on the replay.
They're talking about it. They're making the determination.
And there it is. Thrown it deep. 1-2. Oh, what a hit. Oh, they're rolling that incomplete. They are rolling that incomplete.
It's ruled incomplete.
But that is 4th and deep. But what a
pass attempt to Carpenter.
good
Broken
play
up,
there by
It'll be 4th and long.
good play there by the safety, knocking the ball out, and then way to fall on it because that was close. And if the referees ruled that a fumble, that's a bang play. It would have been South Haven's ball at the 50.
So now 4th down. FCA will likely punt it away here. So a lucky break there for the Falcons as it almost looked like a catch. And there's time called on the field. Looks like we're going to have a
timeout taken by the Falcons. That's their first timeout.
Looks like it's a timeout there by the Falcons. That's going to be their first. Maybe they didn't like the formation that South Haven came out in. Maybe they thought South Haven was going to rush the punter, try and get a quick block, and then be set up about the 10-yard line. But see, this is what you want in your first couple of drives. Yes, you've had a couple of big plays, but that's going to happen. You were able to move the ball if you're South Haven and FCA. You move the ball, you got a first down, and then, of course, there was a negative play there. But that's going to be expected your first couple of drives, trying to get back into rhythm. And that's what we've seen the past few weeks, just getting into the rhythm. And Dooley there on the play before, bad snap, doesn't bother him. Takes a step back, throws it deep, and then let his receiver make a play. It's just South Haven made an even better play right there.
So timeout call by Franklin Christian. That might come back to bite him, especially early in the first quarter. 2 remaining.
But you'd rather something like that happen in the first half than the second half. Call a quick timeout in the first. And go ahead.
So now 4th down and 15. It's a punt away by Dooley, and it bobbled it a little bit, but Atkinson picks it back up. He's trying to cut through and tackle from behind at the 40-yard line. So now the Patriots starting out with 10 yards further than they started out their first offensive drive.
And see, that is why you go for it on 4th down right there. They gained if you're South Haven, because they're now at the same exact spot they were on that before they did that 4th down. And because they gained 9 yards, got down to the 31, they did end up giving up that first down, but that big negative play led to them getting the ball right where they had it.
South Haven on their second offensive drive. Rush up the middle and plows through to the 35-yard line. Another carry by Noah Starnes.
And another good gain on first down. Now, this is where you start getting a territory where you start minimizing those mistakes. Those first drives, nerves, new season, new coaches. This is where if you're South Haven, you start settling in. And if you're FCA, you're like, well, we've already stopped them once. Let's do it again. And watch for something to go to Mobley here in the backfield. Maybe a toss left.
Second and 5. Rush by Crawley. That defensive line just read right through it. And that's a tackle made by Joseph Filippo, the junior.
Crawley sacked on the play.
Wow,
by
what
Filippo.
Crawley right there. Wasn't able to get that pitch off, as that was here we go. As this was a read option play. Here we go. Read option play right here. Runner comes into motion. He gets right past this first defender. Makes the juice inside, but then right there, Mobley, they wasn't able to get the ball to Mobley, who was on the outside, as it brings up a 3rd and about 7.
They rolled Dang out to the right side. Crawley's got some defenders this time. He's under pressure. Crawley getting up the middle, gets a little bit of a collision there with Bramblett. gains a few yards, so now you've got a 4th down and 3 inside of the 35-yard line.
And that play by Crawley could be huge. He lowered his shoulder and gained that extra half yard. And when you're in a 3rd and 4th down situations, all those little half yards are major. But look for them to try to get to Mobley. Try to get him into some space here as he's starting to line back up in the running back position.
So now 4th down and handoff to Dang again. When you need yardage, they give it to him. Dang cuts through the defense, and Southaven has their first score of the year. Touchdown, Patriots.
And what a call right there. I just realized I've been calling Dang Mobley the whole time. I apologize for that, but what a run there. So here we go. Let's see this replay right here.
Covering 33 yards for a Patriots
right up the
touchdown.
middle. What a hole. Dang to the outside, gets his extra speed, and there he went. Nobody's going to catch him there.
So that silenced the Franklin Christian crowd here at Jim Warren Park. And as we look here from the top of the bleachers, we can see the spotlight shining over at Franklin Classical game as 2-point conversion no good. Franklin Christian's defense responded as Austin Bramblett keeps it a 6-0 game with the Patriots striking first. The Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare. Modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Grow, Live, Give, helping you fit all of the pieces together in your financial puzzle. Tennessee Heat Athletics. Visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. And by Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, Clarksville, and Goodlettsville. Let's get Jets. As the Patriots kick it off, an onside kick attempt by Southaven. Can they get to it? The Patriots recover it. Incredible. Drew Atkinson just collides on it.
And as you're going to see on this replay. Oh, I didn't get that replay. That's my bad.
Okay.
That's the hop that you're looking for in the professional game. You want that first hop, second hop, and then the third hop bounces up over the front man up front, right into the Southaven guy running right behind him. Easy catch, easy run for a Southaven conversion.
The Patriots just already firing on offense with all cylinders. And 4:19 left to go in the first quarter. This is one of those drives where the Falcons have to stand their ground on defense. Otherwise, it could get out of hand early.
And they are talking about it. I don't really know what. Oh, wait. There's
a
flag. I think what they're going to call is he got hit before he was able to catch the ball on the onside. Yes, here we go. Maybe he was offsides or something.
There's an illegal procedure on the kicking team. So.
Okay, so what happened is a Southaven guy moved a little bit too early. And ball went too high. Wait, they're saying that the ball went too high.
So they're talking about it with the coaches on the sideline to make sure everything's good.
So they call it the kick definitely went 10 yards. Is they're saying it can't go over the head?
Trying to listen in and see if we can pick up what they're saying there, but
so it is looking like the ball can't go over their head. I've never heard of that rule.
That is definitely a first.
As we're going to have a re-kick.
Yeah, they're discussing it.
Because the Whitecap did put his hand over his head as if saying it. The ball went over his head.
It's Carson Dozier and company trying to solve things out. And
learn something new every day, Spencer.
one of the moments where we would really like a rules analyst in the booth, but you can't get him every night. Maybe we'll get somebody consistently in the future for that. But so they throw the flag, and
I think it may be a re-kick.
as far as it looks like they're going to re-kick it.
It looks like it wasn't a legal procedure. It was an illegal kick. Apparently, the ball has to go 10 yards, but it can't go over the initial guy's head.
So they're explaining it to Coach Johnson as well.
Penalty against the Patriots. It's a 10-yard penalty. Re-kick from the 35.
Now the fans starting a chant of "You can't do that."
I think that fooled everybody in here.
Mm-hmm.
But what a great catch there by the officiating crew, because that ball definitely did go over the first man's head.
Might have to bounce a certain amount of times before it's eligible. That'd be a question for Ronnie Perkins, the officiating coordinator company. That'd probably be a question for them, but regardless, South Haven doesn't get the onside kick recovery. They start back from the 35, and we'll see if they. Looks like they're going to attempt it again. It's like a game of onside kicks. Their kicker, Isaiah Kimbrough. They're going to try it again, and it does bounce, and
there's a flag.
There's flag down, and it looks like South Haven got it. Got it again.
No, as if
marker on the play.
This replay, if we can get the replay this time, I think what happened. Here it is. Watch the kick. I think it's 27 on South Haven right here. Doesn't go for the ball, just hits the man.
Okay.
Yes, that's unnecessary roughness. Now, that's probably going to be a 15-yard penalty. And if that's a 15-yard penalty and South Haven ball, they get the ball at the 30-yard line. No, not South Haven ball. At the FCA ball, they get the ball at the 30-yard line.
They're moving the chains to the 45. So it's another either false start, another legal procedure. So they're declining it, and it's going to go to the 45. We're going to get this referee lapel module fixed. We'll get it fixed going into next week, and we'll have everything better. But realize that I guess the water damage from the Heat CCS game has been more permanent. For whatever reason, it hasn't been working with us. We'll get it fixed next week. So Falcons have great field advantage. There's a quick toss over to Owen Carpenter as the sophomore tries to make his brothers in the service proud and gets inside of the 40.
Owen Carpenter.
It's here.
By the Patriots.
Here we go.
At the 37-yard line.
What a good play, get outside. And then that took about 5 minutes in real time, those kicks. So if you're SCA, you want to get that you want to get a quick offensive play, get your offense back into that rhythm that you had to start the game.
Here's a handoff up the middle.
That's a fumble.
And a fumble. Does South Haven get to it?
Still loose.
Still loose. And as the officiating crews have said, they're not digging into the pile, so whoever ends up with the ball, it's theirs. And waiting for the signal. South Haven gets it.
Here we go. Let's see if we can see that on the instant replay.
Fumble on the play, recovered by the Patriots.
And then
be first
he runs right up the middle. What a great run there.
Oh, and you see the pile in there. You see the pile in there in the last bit of it, but you just can't see it.
Yeah, you can't see it. So what a big play there. I'm pretty sure that was number 12 on South Haven, if I'm not mistaken, Andrew Crawley. Oh, so here we go.
Playing a little bit of offense and defense. Starting quarterback goes to the right side. Shovel pass. Rush on the right, trying to weave around, but stuck behind the line of scrimmage for a 2nd and 11.
And that's that read option there by Crawley. He noticed that he wasn't getting anything, tried to pitch it out and get to the outside, and this wasn't able to do it. That's what they were trying to do with Dang before that long touchdown run that he went right up the middle for. They were trying to get Deng out into space, get him going. And they just weren't able to. And FCA's, the 2 times that South Haven's run it, has done a great job of stopping it.
So now on a 2nd and 11, this Falcon defense wanted to prevent this game from getting too one-sided. Crawley, quick toss. The catch is made by Atkinson, and just short of the first down.
And as you can see, Atkinson and Crawley are both seniors. On that play, right as Crawley threw the ball, Atkinson was still trying to cut. And before you knew it, Atkinson turns, ball's put perfectly for Crawley, from Crawley, right into Atkinson's chest. He turns and isn't able to get a first down, but gets a 3rd and manageable. Big 3rd down here for both teams.
Crawley looking again. Quick toss to Deng. There's a flag. He's going to toss it to the right side. And Emmanuel Deng, although there is the penalty, is staying on his feet.
This is going to be interesting. Let's see if we can get a replay there. I'm pretty sure they're going to call whatever, what's his name? Right here. Watch the blocking upfield, but that ball was behind the line of scrimmage, so that should. Ooh, it's going to be. Let's see what they're going to call here. So they are calling that pass interference for that illegal blocking downfield. So it will still be 3rd down, but a mental error there by Atkinson, blocking before the pass was completed to Mobley. Not Mobley, Dank.
We have offensive pass.
So on a 3rd down,
called on the Patriots.
So pass interference called. It's another play for the Patriots to try and convert it.
3rd down.
But this Falcon defense is holding strong.
3rd and 6.
Third down, right side rush, Starnes, and Starnes just in the backfield, can't get it going.
And what another great play by this Falcons defense. I'm pretty sure, and that's number 10, Daniel Valdez. My bad, that's number 12, Andy Reid. Beats his blocker right there. And then what a tackle to stop South Haven for making a punt. They had to punt now because of the pass interference on the play before.
Again, first game, you expect these kind of mistakes to happen early on. But the South Haven team has a jump there, no false start, and punted away. Beautiful. Down to about the 34-yard line.
And that jump was by the defense, but he was able to get back on sides before the punt. No, before this ball was snapped. So that is why there wasn't a flag on the play.
1st and 10 at the 33-yard line.
About 57 seconds left to go in the first, and we'll see if the Falcons can get a score before the quarter's over.
And this Falcons defense, that's twice they've stood up and stopped South Haven there to try and keep themselves in this early.
FCA starts out on their own 33. And up top, just a little bit of confusion, but manages to get a gain of a yard. That was Asa Sheets confused with his quarterback, Zach Dooley. And say 2nd down.
Sheets takes the snap.
That snap was just a little high, and Sheets stole the ball from Dooley there because the ball was going to Sheets anyways. So he's tried to go ahead and get the ball without having to take that extra second for Dooley to bring it back down and hand it off.
And another high snap for the Falcons. In the backfield, loose. The Patriots recover it.
And that's Deng.
Emmanuel Deng.
Here we go with the replay again.
By the Falcons,
another bad snap. And here comes the bad snap right over Dooley's head.
Patriots have it 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line.
Over his head and left. and then Dooley just misslides, and then Dang comes up with it, and first down at the 16-yard line. With 15 seconds to go in that quarter.
So now South Haven in prime position to score inside the red zone. .8 ticks left on the scoreboard for the first. Crawley hands it off as Starnes tries to get through, and likely that's going to take us to the, looks like they're heading to the sideline. That's going to make us flip sides of the field and take us to the end of the first quarter. Well, Franklin Christian's defense has only held the Patriots to 6 points, but their offense having issues, and hopefully they'll be able to correct it. 6-0 at the end of 12 in the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week. I'll ask Ronnie at halftime for clarity. Started the second quarter, 12 minutes. As Manuel Dang goes to the backfield to the left side and gain of about 2 or 3 yards as the clock continues to run. Spencer Tomsett, Zachary Lone, Jack Hellwig. Proud to be on call here from Franklin, Tennessee at Jim Warren Park. I didn't play football, but my old broadcasting grounds, I would say stomping grounds, but I didn't play football. So my old broadcasting grounds, it's very nostalgic being back here on top of the bleachers at Jim Warren Park. But we got ourselves an interesting game on our hands.
Oh, yeah, but you watched it. Same thing.
Same thing. I traveled with all the teams back in the day. It's very nostalgic. Can't believe I'm 4 years separated technically from high school, 4 school years.
Time flies.
Third down, here's Emmanuel Dang again. He's going to get to the end zone. Touchdown for South Haven. And this home crowd does not know how to feel with this Lightning offense.
And what a huge – that's what they've been trying to do the whole game, is get Dang to the outside, get him into the open field, kind of what Freedom does with Butler. Get him in the open field, try and get him outside, because his speed to the outside is almost impossible to catch up with.
And a 2-point conversion will make the score look as if they have make it look as if right now they've scored 2 field goals, but for now it's 12-0 with the 2-point conversion attempt coming up. And Crawley looking for the pass to Dang, tries to go for it, incomplete. So make that a 12-0 game so far. Franklin Christian, we'll see if Casey Jorgensen can get something cooked up on offense.
Well, here we go with Franklin Christian. They have to be ready for this onside kick right here. For the past 3 kicks have all been onsides. So you have to be ready for that, because South Haven is putting themselves into position to recover these onside kicks. Just have to make sure you play the ball, not the man. It's kind of like pass interference on the defense. You have to play the ball before you can hit a man.
Now, of course, James had a prediction for South Haven Christian to go undefeated, I'm pretty sure. He had them going undefeated on the season, and their journey to that starts tonight, and already with 12-0, they got a chance to so far make James look perfect.
It's still early, though. Still
way early.
Really, really early. Still so early. We still have 12, 24, 35 more minutes to go in the game.
So, kickoff for the Patriots here. Isaiah Kimbrough, the sophomores, try to do some onside kicks here. Looks like he may try it again. And another onside kick attempt, bounces up, and still lose. The Patriots fall on it. That went off of the Falcons. 18. Asa Sheets couldn't get possession on it, and the Patriots have a successful onside kick recovery with no penalties this time.
And then this one went, I'm pretty sure it went off of 10 Atkinson right there. Right here. Goes over that guy again.
Atkinson touched it.
Atkinson, back to Atkinson. Just unfortunate right there if you're Franklin. Oh, it looks like.
And it is unfortunate if you're Franklin Christian, because it looks like, trying to see who's injured there.
That is South Haven.
It is a South Haven Patriot who's down, likely Atkinson, because he was the one who collided there. Let's get the replay again just to look and see if we could piece who was injured there.
It did happen on this sideline.
Okay, it may have been Seth Reyes, I believe.
He's right in the back of your picture. He recovered it. Seth Reyes. Oh, yes.
Yep. Just got a little bit knocked in the sideline there, and he's being looked at by the training staff.
Now, if you're the Falcons here, this is must-stop territory. Usually you don't say this, but first game of the year, new coach, you want to get this stop so you're not down 3 scores.
First and 10. Crawley airs it out to the left side to Dang. Incredible! Touchdown!
And there it is again.
Crawley's pass.
Dang, in open space, beats his man, as here we go with the replay. Right here, Crawley, as you see, they even played off of Dang there. Just beats his man deep. Wow, what a throw, what a catch. 18-0.
So what was a 6-0 game going into the first quarter, already in a minute and 19 seconds, Patriots are on the verge. Incomplete. They were on the verge of making it 20-0, but now 18-0.
And that was a good play call from South Haven. It's just Atkinson just right through his hands. But if you're South Haven, you'll take it. You're up 3 scores with only 13 minutes of game time played.
First half, Patriots 18, Falcons.
Now this is danger territory for Franklin Christian. But looking at this roster, you have a lot of veteran guys, a whole lot of veteran guys. So if you're Coach Johnson, you're not that worried just yet, because usually your veteran guys can pull it together just enough. Because if you're Coach Johnson, you want the ball score to be within single digits by the time you go to half. So probably you want to cut that lead in half. As here we go, probably if I was a betting man, I'd bet onside kick here.
I'm not a betting man either, but I agree with you.
Watch this one. They're going to kick deep.
It might be because their kicker just doesn't have the boot to send it deep, which isn't a bad thing.
Oh no.
Just means they have a lot more of onside kick attempts. That must be what they're going with the entire year. And Falcons fix it there. Great work by Owen Carpenter to fall on it. And now we'll see if the Falcon offense can respond to 18 unanswered points.
And here we go. I mean, that was probably the worst of the onside kicks, and that's saying something. the way that the ball's been bouncing right now for South Haven has been all in their favor. But if you're, like I said, Franklin Christian, bunch of older guys, bunch of guys who have experience, and this is where you get your experience guys. This is where you get them going. It's not always your better guys that you get the ball to. It's your experienced guy, get a little bit momentum, and then you start going hard.
So movement there, it'll likely be encroachment.
Patriots
Just
jump
a little
off
early.
sides, a 5-yard penalty. Replay first down to be first and 5.
Oh, wait.
Yep, encroachment on the defense.
It's my bad. 61.
So looks like the penalty was cut there by Gage Wilkes. That's an 8th grader who's in the game. So again, first game of the year, especially on a varsity level, probably working out the kinks. Here's Asa Sheets weaving through. Gained about 3-4 yards.
And big play
down.
there by Atkinson, going for the legs and
Sheets
taking him
on the
down.
carry.
Because without that tackle,
after a
he's
gain
gone,
of 3,
and you have an
it'll be
18-6 game all of a
second
sudden.
and 2.
And then if you're FCA, if you're FCA, you feel good. You still feel good about that play, because you're at the 42-yard line, plenty of time to go in the half, and you have the experience to keep moving this ball. Experience is key in first games.
There's another rush at the middle. Asa Sheets carrying the ball again. He'll plow to the first down
He's
and
still
pushing the pile. Asa Sheets. There's a reason he was an all-star last year, and that's another player you want as your senior captain going into 2020.
Let's see if we can get a replay there. I think we're going to. Yeah, here we
Sheets on
go.
the carry, stopped by Crawley.
What a great.
Has enough for the first down to be first
Gets
and
hit.
10
He just keeps moving those
from the
feet and
Patriots'
keep and
33-yard line.
gains 7-8 more yards after that. What a play.
And here's another one by Asa Sheets weaving through. Manages to keep control of the ball. Could have been popped out there, but gets down to about the 26.
Like I said, get the ball to your experienced guys, get you going, and then before you know it, you've ran 3
Sheets on the
plays
carry.
and you're at the
Stop by
26-yard
Sorrell.
line of South Haven.
And you know the even
After a
more
gain of
interesting
7,
part, I noticed they got a
second and 3.
drone over the field.
I have noticed that.
Let's get a quick shot of that. They got a drone over there. Must be an additional camera angle. As let's actually keep it on the drone, because they just
Timeout
called
taken by the
the Patriots just called a timeout. So 2 timeouts for each team, but it's their video editor is using it. So again, another sky cam there. It's high schools are always innovating.
Just getting yourself an extra view,
Yep.
and that's actually huge. That's a huge advantage, especially for your coaching staff, being able to see those extra angles, being able to see, because most of the time, what you're seeing here, you're not being able to see how your blockers engage, how the pre-snap movement goes from your quarterback, how he's communicating. But with that drone being right above and about 5-10 yards behind, you're able to see the defensive line movements, being able to see how your offensive line's reacting to certain situations.
And 9:04 left to go before halftime. A little bit early, but the Kentucky Kingdom and Hurricane Bay halftime report will go over scoring updates around the TSIAA as well as independent teams that 8-man extreme covers, and give our thoughts on the first half on what's been unfortunately a one-sided game for South Haven, but that's what they came to do on the road, is get a win, and they got a long way to go for that, but looking pretty strong right now. Second down and 4. Dooley under center, and movement again, it'll likely be.
That may have been a false start. They are calling encroachment.
Offsides penalty on the Patriots. That's a 5-yard penalty.
That is going to
It'll
be on number
enough for a Falcons
61,
first down.
Gage Wilkes. No, we know we called it false start. So there
Correct.
was a
Check
movement
that.
on the line. I thought I
False
saw.
start penalty on the
I
Falcons.
don't know if we'll be able to get that in replay. Let's see if
Probably
we can
too late at this point.
probably
but
too late, but let's see if we can get it. Yeah, a little bit too late on that. They did call encroachment because the defensive line didn't come across, but it did look like there was a little bit of movement on that offensive line.
So moving back 5 yards for second down. The ball almost loose in the backfield, and the toss incomplete, intended for Davis Carpenter.
Dooley's pass attempt to Davis Carpenter falls incomplete.
Clock is still. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Third
But as he rolled to his right side,
and
just the pass was just a little bit low, and a little bit to his outside right there. but he was under pressure, and it was if you're FCA, you want that. You want that completion.
Here's third down. Toss right side. The catch is made. Owen Carpenter gets the reception and a first down for Franklin Christian. And that might be the spark that they need going down into the red zone.
And that ball may have came out in there.
Dooley's pass complete.
But ran to the
17 yards.
ran to the first down marker.
Be first.
Stopped,
and 10
turned.
from the Patriots.
What a good throw by Dooley
17
here. Turned. It's that small man. But the ball did come out, but he was on the ground. That was a good call by the officials.
First and 10. Here's the left, the catch, falling catch made by Andrew Hasley.
Oh, you almost want that one to go incomplete, unless
Dooley's
he was
pass caught
behind
by
the
Hazley.
quarterback. And if he's behind the quarterback, you do want to catch that because that's a fumble. And you can't, if you're FCA, you can't afford to give
Loss of 2
FCA the ball back
on the
without
completion.
getting a
It'll be
score.
2nd and 12.
Good news for FCA is they do have a kicker, as we know is pregame.
Yeah, they do have a kicker, and it's a question of if they're going to utilize him. 2nd and 12. Dooley under pressure, tosses it with Dang on the pressure, topped up, and incomplete. Could have been. They did have Noah
Dooley's
Starnes
pass
far
attempt.
away from it, but imagine if it had
Carpenter
deflected
broken
the
up
other
by
way.
the
But
Patriots.
Let's see if we-
incomplete.
It'll be
Dang
3rd
with the
and 12.
pressure.
Let's see if we can get that that deflection there. Here we go. Right after here we go. Right after the throw. Oh, what a great play there. Who's that? Is that 12 by Crawley? Another big play by Crawley.
Dooley looking for the option, right side, incomplete. Threw it to the ground, intended again for Carpenter. And deflection there by Benjamin Sordo, the
Dooley's
junior.
pass attempt
And
to Carpenter falls incomplete.
here we go, 4th down. What are they going to do
Be
here?
4th and 12.
This is the first big call right here by Coach Johnson. And they are keeping the offense on the field.
Between Johnson and Jorgensen, they know that they need to get points on the board, need to get them fast.
As there is a little bit of communication between Coach Johnson and the referee. I wonder what they're talking about as FCS looking for the sideline for a play.
Looking to see what's going on here. There's time called. So time called by FCA there, and
Timeout
That's
taken
another
by the
ti-
Falcons
another
after the
timeout
second
for-
timeout of the half.
another timeout for the Falcons. They got one left.
And
King,
go ahead. That might be coming back to bite them towards the end of the half.
the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Grow, Live, Give, helping you fit all of the pieces together in your financial puzzle. Tennessee Heat Athletics. Visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. And by Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, Clarksville, and Goodlettsville. Let's Jets.
Five.
7:23 left to go before the end of the first half, and the Falcon fan base has been quiet for the most part. Probably a score can spark some new life into them, but all the Falcon fans in attendance tonight are excited and joyous to be here during this time.
And they are pointing at something towards the south end zone here. Is it the dog? I don't think it is the dog. As we are Good to go.
Wait to see what the officials are doing. They're trying to back up some of the it looks like Coach Johnson having a discussion with to see the official. I think that's in between Dozier and I believe Odell Bradley.
I'd like to bring everyone's attention to some delicious food we have here at the game tonight. Y'all could,
they look like they were pointing to the sky. Was there a lightning strike?
Outside the gate.
I thought tonight was supposed to be a clear night when I looked at the radar.
I couldn't tell if it was a lightning strike. Maybe they were pointing at the drone.
For their senior trip.
They could have been pointing at the drone.
Also,
could have been something of a distraction. Not sure.
Online and get some FCA gear for the remaining athletic season.
Not sure, but play resumes. Here's a 4th down and 12. As Dooley with a quick toss, nobody in the area, incomplete, and turnover on downs.
Well,
pass attempt to Sheets falls incomplete.
You're okay
Ball
with that
goes
if you're
over on
Franklin
downs.
Christian. You were able to move the
Patriots
ball,
have it first
and that's
10
basically like another punt.
from the Patriots.
They're getting the ball at the 19-yard line.
19-yard line.
They're getting the ball at the 19-yard line. The screen pass would have worked to perfection if I'm pretty sure if the running back could have got free from the offensive line. Like he got caught up in between the left and right, left tackle and left guard there, because all of South Haven's whole defense dropped back. So it would have been interesting to see what would happen.
So we'll see if South Haven can march it down the field. They start on their own 19-yard line. Crawley will do the quarterback keep and immediately met in the backfield by Seth Rays, junior, reading right through that rush and limits the South Haven Patriots from gaining no more than 3 yards.
That is
Crawley
one
on the
area though where
quarterback
Franklin Christian is controlling. They are controlling the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. There have been a couple of times where Dang gets the outside on defense, right outside of the left or right guard of Franklin Christian. But other than that, they've had complete control of the line, not allowing runs besides Dang's first touchdown, and not allowing plays to go right in the middle.
2nd down. Crawley with a deep toss on the right side to Atkinson. How did? Ooh, I got a little bit too excited there. I thought he had the catch there, but great defensive coverage there by Dawson Still, the junior. What would have been an incredible catch turned out to be incomplete.
What a great defensive play right here. Atkinson turns, jumps, high points it. But what great fight right there by Franklin Christian right there, forcing a 3rd and about 7. And they could force a punt.
Here's a 3rd down and 6. Toss, catch. Starnes. Another gain of a few yards of that Falcon defense is really good at preventing 1st downs, and the marker says 3rd down, but it's going to head to 4th.
And here we go. What do you do here? Do you go for it if you're South Haven? Try and keep your offensive rhythm.
Stop by lead.
But you're risking
4th and 2.
FCA, who's control line of scrimmage, like we said earlier. If they get back to the back into the backfield and get a tackle for a loss or stop them here, they get the ball at the 28-yard line. That is huge.
And make that another timeout by South Haven. I believe each team has 1 timeout left in the first half.
Timeout
So
taken by the Patriots. That's their 2nd timeout.
South Haven just trying to regroup and get things together in the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week. 5:39 left to go in the first half. South Haven trying to get another score in to make it a 24-year lead, but tripped up in the backfield. That Falcon defense
There it
reads
is.
right through it.
There it is on that fourth down. That's great field positioning for South Haven. FCA has controlled that offensive line, South Haven to this point, and South Haven has a young offensive line.
Dang takes
right there.
Stop by Bramlett.
But that's huge.
loss
Now
of
they
the
get the ball
play.
at the 27-yard line. 27
Ball
yards
goes
to
over
score
on
with
downs.
5:33 to go in the
Falcons
first half.
have
That's
first and 10
doable.
At the 32
And Austin
yard line.
Bramlett, the senior, on the tackle in the backfield, as turnover on downs results for Franklin Christian. And again, great field advantage, but the mistakes have to be corrected. And movement there, false start. They're going to move it back. As again, we'll fix our lapel module going into next week. So unfortunately, ours is giving us issues.
But Franklin Christian really they've made one mistake on that fumble. They really haven't made those other mistakes. It's just good defense by South Haven.
First and 15, handoff. Asa Sheets staying on his feet, avoids 2 tackles, gets past a third one for about a yard, but gets tripped up to about the 21-yard line.
And as we're going to see on this replay coming up right here,
Sheets on the carry.
watch the hole open up on that right side.
Stopped at the 21
Goes through that
line.
hole, then bounces off that first tackler. Bounces off this tackler right there, and there he goes. A good first down gain.
And there's another carry. Asa Sheets staying on his feet, finally brought down. It took 3 guys, almost 4, to bring him down. They counted for forward progress at the line of scrimmage,
And
third down.
What a great job there by Sheets by holding on to that ball, because the other 3 South Haven defenders were there trying to rip it away from him at the end, and he was able to put 2 hands on it and fall down.
After a loss of 1.
And here we go, another 3rd and long for Franklin Christian.
4.5. As Dooley loses the football and South Haven recovers it. And that defense is just it was Emmanuel Dang again. That defense led by Emmanuel Dang, they're just the kings of forced fumbles.
And here we go.
Patriots.
Gets up.
Patriots have it 1st and 10.
It was that
At the 20.
Crawley with a
2-yard line.
good, huge tackle, huge hit, forces the ball out. As we're going to see the replay one more time right here. As Dooley escapes the first pressure, rolls right, makes that man miss right. Crawley. What a great play by Crawley.
Crawley forcing the fumble there. There's a reason why he's both on the offensive and defensive side, not just because of the numbers, but their Patriots' skill is going to be incredible to see throughout the rest of the season. So now again, the Patriots are faced with a first down deep in their territory. So it's handed off, and that Falcon defense is just weaving right through, but flag there, and you're saying it's going to be a face mask. Let's see if you're right.
Crawley on the carry. We have a
It's a face mask, you're right.
on the Falcons.
That's going to move it up 15 yards.
As when he turned, I think we're a little bit too late for the replay, so I don't think I'll be able to get that. But when he turns that corner right there, you saw his head jerk, and that's a telltale sign of a face mask. And that's only a 10-yard. Oh, it's 1st and about an inch. We have a 1st and an inch.
And the clock continues to run with 4 minutes left as they move it up to up for a first down and 1. And here's Emmanuel Dang again. When you give him the ball, he's dangerous. Took several players to finally bring him down, but moves the chains for another first down.
And Dang right there got to the outside and really gained only about 2 inches because of a great pursuit there by Franklin Christian. But guess what? That's a first down. So it's a 1st and 10 after a great defensive play.
1st and 10 from the 34-yard line.
So here, and now you have 3:40 to go in the half.
And Crawley brought down. Another great tackle by Bramblett. As, again, the Falcon defense, they're doing their job tonight. They're doing fantastic.
As here we go. We're going to watch this replay. We're coming right here. And here we go. As you see, Austin Bramlett goes right up the middle.
Loss of 6 on the play.
Right up the middle there. Takes Crawley down. Took two offensive linemen right there to block him. Still couldn't. As here we go. It's second and about 17.
Patriots offensive line is doing what they can. But again, Shaka Hill's coordination is just too much for the Patriots to handle to an extent. Here's Emmanuel Dang again. Cuts around.
Great
Nice
open field tackle right there by number 24, Adam Hubble.
Yeah, Adam Hubble with the move and time called. The Falcons call a timeout. 2:28 left to go before halftime. Falcons are going to take it over.
What a sack there.
2:28 as scramble. Crawley again. 4 Falcons surround him and keep him from getting back up.
So here we go right here. Let's see if we can see that play again. Great pursuit there by the Falcons defense, and here we go. Yeah, that's the play before. We weren't able to get that one. But what a great play. Now you have 2 minutes. You have 2 minutes to try and score here for FCA. And they're going to run the clock down, and they're going to probably call a timeout if I'm South Haven, I'm running this clock all the way down, calling a timeout, and then getting ready to punt this one away.
About 1:30 and a 4th down here for South Haven. You give the ball to Emmanuel Dang, and he can do great things, but South Haven will just punt it away and not risk any score chance here, and flag thrown, probably a delay of game. Yep.
And that's exactly what it was. You take those 5 yards, because at the end of the day, when you have a punter like South Haven does, 5 yards really isn't that much. And plus, it gives you that 1 extra second of game time bled off.
So time bled off of the game clock, and the ball loose. Can he punt it away? Doesn't look like he will, and amazing field advantage. A 1st and goal immediately for the Falcons. Again, it's a matter of correcting these mistakes to get a score, but great defensive move for the Falcons to give their offense incredible field advantage.
And here we go on this replay. Right here we go. Snap, what happens? Oh, he just dropped it. Dropping to go to the punt. Goes to the outside and just isn't able to get in, steps out, and
at the 10-yard line.
Now you have, with 1:13 to go, you have the ball in the red zone.
Not even in the red zone, it's 1st and goal. I mean, inside of it, but 1st and goal on the 10-yard line. Will the Falcons get their first score of the night? Incomplete. Pass intended for Caleb Lee, the freshman.
As that pass was just a little low.
Pass attempt to Lee falls
but
incomplete.
if you're FCA, you're okay. You're okay with that. You were able to get to the outside. Now you know that you're able to get to these outsides on these South Haven's defenders, and Dooley is able to get it there.
107. Toss across the middle, incomplete. Could have been a touchdown intended for Hasley.
Let's see if we can get. We've got that replay right there.
Attempt to Hasley falls incomplete. Be 3rd and goal.
As here we go. As you saw Hasley lined up to this right side, thrown right off his hands.
Right off his hands.
Oh, if you're FCA, you really wanted to convert that one. Okay, him to catch that one.
3rd and goal. Sheets looking for the pass. Incomplete again. Toss intended for Owen Carpenter, the sophomore. And now on a 4th and goal with 53 seconds. What are you going to do here?
Oh, you've got to go for it. The past,
you go for it.
The past 3 plays, you've had guys open in the open field, and they weren't able to hang on. Dooley's putting the ball where they can catch it. Right now, the onus is on their receivers. They absolutely have to convert this one. You have to score here if you're FCA before half.
53 seconds. 4th and goal. Sheets scrambling, looking for the chance, and flag thrown in the backfield. That might extend the drive.
That's going to be a holding call.
Dooley on the carry. We have a marker
holding
on the play.
On the right guard there.
Carson Dozier, referee for tonight. Don't have his voice announcement, unfortunately, but we'll hear the rest of the story from him.
And here they come to ask South Haven's coach. It's going to be declined. It's going to be a 1st down.
It's a holding call on the offense. So Falcons offensive drive, 3 drop passes and a penalty in the backfield with a failed 4th down conversion. Now that offense is ready to go.
And if you're FCA there, that you really, really wanted that 3 plays there where you had guys open in the end zone, just weren't able to come down with it. And that last one, Chiefs just rolled out to the right, didn't have any man open.
From the 7-yard line.
Ball fell and just tackled about the 6-yard line. The 7-yard line, my mistake. But you've backed up South Haven to where they're going to have to go for it. Or they can't knee the ball because they have 1 timeout left. FCA does. And then South Haven just used their last one of the half.
And last timeout for both teams used, so 46 seconds left. The Patriots are going to think it over.
Patriots, that's their final timeout of the half.
Four seconds left, and they're just going to knee it.
FCA still has 1 timeout. Are they going to take that timeout and a half with them?
Probably takes a knee. Brings up 2nd
It looks
down.
like they're going to take the timeout and a half with them. Oh.
25 seconds left, and yep, they're just going to go to halftime instead of trying to rush it down the field. Well, the Patriots in the first half have been completely dominant. That Falcon defense has tried all they can, but nothing going on offense for Franklin Christian as we wait for the final knee and wait until the absolute last second, I guess, to knee it down. And halftime, 18-0. Kentucky Kingdom Hurricane Bay halftime report is coming up in a few seconds, maybe a little bit more delayed than usual, but we'll be back in just a few moments. You're watching the Kingdom. You're watching the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week. We'll be back in a few moments. Welcome, everybody, to the Kentucky Kingdom and Hurricane Bay halftime report from on top of the bleachers in Jim Warren Park. I'm Spencer Thompson. That's Zachary Lone. 18-0 the score right now. The Patriots showing, proving James right in his predictions of how dominant of a team they are. But for the Patriots, they've had a few mistakes here and there. They haven't gotten as many onside kicks as they would want. They haven't been able to. They haven't been able to get past that defense in certain situations in the latter half of the second quarter. So what do the Patriots talk about in the halftime locker room?
They're talking about how to finish off the drives and how not, especially on that fourth down, they're going to be talking to that offensive line and say, hey, you got to just get a couple of seconds right there. Just get a couple of seconds of block and just get off the ball. That's all they had to do is get off the ball faster than the defensive line there. The defensive line beat them off the ball, caused a loss of 2 on the play, and almost costed South Haven points.
And South Haven, of course, they're in a comfortable lead 18-0 right now, but they haven't gotten any two-point conversions either. But for Franklin Christian, you're down 18-0. It's the first game of the season, and this home crowd has essentially been silenced because of what's been going on here. What is it that Franklin Christian has to do to be able to have a chance to get back in the second half?
They got to finish drives. The past 3 drives, they got down to the red zone. They just haven't been able to finish. That's big. They have to finish because with those 3 drives, it should be around 18-18 right now. But South Haven's defense stood strong. Their defense just said, "Hey, we're not letting you score this half. We're gonna keep it at 0 going in that second half." And if I'm not mistaken, doesn't FCA get the ball start second half?
They do. I believe they do.
So FCA's got to score this start second half because if they don't score here and they let South Haven go and score a touchdown, it's still a 3-possession game. If they force South Haven to not get the 2-point conversion, it's still a 3-possession game. But you have to score every single 2-point conversion, and you don't want that if you're FCA.
Tough first half for Franklin Christian, but they're going to try and rally back. So we have got the scores from around the conference for you. We were going to have James Shannon in, but unfortunately Discord is giving us some issues right now. So here we go, Tennessee High School football app. If you don't already have it downloaded, be sure to use it. Be sure to use it. As I pull up all the scores here, you look on the scoreboard for the teams that are followed. So let's go through in order. At halftime, Riverside Christian Academy, the game they picked up against the Lighthouse Christian School Lions, 20-6. Riverside is leading at home. I believe it's almost to halftime. Literally just in sight are the spotlights for the Franklin Classical School's home opener. They are down 16-12. It says in the second quarter, probably close to halftime. They're only down by 4 to the Eagles. Halftime, of course, here, 18-0. And then in the second quarter, the Webb School, they're dominating the Tennessee Heat 26-7, as it probably is getting into halftime there. Those are your updates.
Kind of reminds you of last week, Tennessee Heat, doesn't it?
It very much does. Those are your updates around the conference. We will be back in about 7.5 minutes for the second half of the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week. Start of the second half at Jim Warren Park in Franklin, Tennessee. 18-0, the Patriots lead over the Falcons in the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week. Spencer Tomsett, Zachary Lone, and Jack Helwig breaking you all the action here on the third level of scaffolding. As we are anticipating the kickoff for the second half. And Falcons do receive for the second half, and we'll see how it just goes from here.
FCA has 9 guys on the field right now. Okay, never mind. They got them off.
Maybe a premonition for the future if they go to 11, man. Who knows? But
Foreshadowing.
just a little bit of foreshadowing.
And here we go. Here it comes, another onside kick. Will FCA be able to recover? Huge recovery here.
So we just got clarification. The drone is illegal, cannot be used in high school games. We just got clarification on that, so that's probably what they were going on about as the onside kick. Owen Carpenter gets it there. So we just got clarification on that.
Martinez, onside kick taken by Owen Carpenter.
Yeah, in high school, that's a no-go.
Yeah,
because it gives an unfair competitive advantage to FCA.
I don't even necessarily think it's that. I think it's just the possibility of if the battery suddenly dies on it, it can injure a player. If whoever's operating it accidentally takes it too low, again, it's player injury. I think that's, I mean, granted, that's an effect of it with the competitive advantage, but I think it's more about player safety in the long run. But regardless, players are staying safe for the most part here as Asa Sheets stays away from tackles. Finally brought down to the sideline at about the 46-yard line.
And that was a great pursuit there by the left side of the South Haven's defensive line there. This might be the second or third time that they've been able to get to the outside before Sheets is able to get cut up field.
Again, Asa Sheets, they trust him a lot as the senior leader for the Falcons.
And that clock did not start last play. Should be around 11:23.
Well, I believe with it being carried out of bounds, now there goes the clock. As handed off, and that defense again, Emmanuel Dang just getting himself in positions to prevent plays from happening. That matchup between Emmanuel Dang and Asa Sheets has been the story of the night.
And let's see if we can get that replay. Because if we can, right before the snap, right here, wait for it, watch Dang come right up the middle. Start right there. Read that snap count to perfection. Whoa, what great recognition there.
Now here's the third down. Right side toss intended for Carpenter, but way overthrown out of bounds. So now it'll bring up 4th down and long.
And here we go. What will they do? Will they punt it away? You almost have to punt it away here, don't you? 4th and about 20. Their offense is staying on the field. Nah, here comes their punt unit.
They'll punt it away.
Look out for a fake, though. And I don't mind this decision by Coach Johnson here. Your defense has been able to stop South Haven the past couple of drives to where they were going about 4 or 5 plays, and then it's a punt, or it's 4 or 5 plays and a turnover. If you're Coach Johnson, just like that every time.
And a high punt to the left.
That's going to go.
As goes about out at the 41-yard line is where they rule it. If you haven't already seen it on social media, referencing the helmet schedule here and looking at Franklin Christian's ahead schedule, next week they face off against Providence Christian in their first 8-man varsity football game ever the next few weeks. And then they've got a game on the road at East L. Harding, so they don't come back here until October. They're not back at Jim Warren Park until they host Riverside Christian on October 2nd. So for Franklin Christian, they got 2 tough road games ahead. Well, of course, Providence, not sure what they have, but East L. Harding, seeing how they're doing. As
there's
another
rush
rush
there.
And several flags thrown as Noah Starnes tries going for the rush, and looks like we'll get a face mask call.
Got his hand just a little bit too high there. Grabbed him around the got it right to the top left corner of his face mask. Saw his head jerk. That's an easy flag.
Quick reaction by all the officials to throw it, and good awareness for that. And you look at South Haven's schedule, of course, their first playoff implicating game is next weekend, where they travel to Antioch to collide with the Lighthouse Christian School Lions. Then they go on the road. So they have a 3-game stretch of traveling. Come an hour down here to Franklin, about 30, 45 minutes to Antioch, and then about that same distance, 30 minutes to go up to Bowling Green for 3 weeks, and then home game against Christian Community for their second division impacting game. As an incomplete pass there for Crawley for a 2nd and 10, but both schedules for these teams looking fairly interesting down the stretch, but at least for the next few weeks, they both have some tough games. They're winnable. It's just that they got tough opponents ahead.
And yes, if you're South Haven, you're going to take a huge amount of confidence out of this game. Even if FCA does like a good big comeback right here, you're like, hey, we scored 18 points in the first half. We were moving the ball. We were able to do what we wanted to on the offensive end. And if you're FCA, you just want to get something going for next week.
2nd down, and there's Emmanuel Dang again, weaving out of tackles. There's a juke there, another one staying on his feet, but finally brought down at the 40-yard line. Actually spotted at about the 39 for 3rd down and 3.
And let's see if we can see this replay right here.
Dang takes a pitch, run out of bounds.
Let's see right
Davis
there.
and Owen Carpenter.
Here he comes. He gets to this outside right here. Shakes that one. Huge stiff arm, and then just had nowhere to go. Lowered his shoulder and gained about 3 yards. But here we go again. Can FCA stop them? Again? Can their defense come up huge again?
On about a 3rd down and 4, there's Emmanuel Dang again, collides immediately, pushes for a few yards, so it'll be 4th down and 2, maybe 4th down and 1.
And here you go. If you're, this is a spot where FCA wants. They want a 4th down. They wanted this 4th down because, like we alluded to in the first half, this whole game, besides maybe 2-3 plays, they've dominated this offensive line. This offensive line. And because of that, you're confident in your defense right here to get the stop.
Crawley under center, gives it off to Dang, and 1st down.
And there it is, yeah. What a good play call there by South Haven, getting Dang going towards the line of scrimmage. And he's gonna be tough to stop right there.
Be enough for Patriots 1st down. 1st and 10 for the Falcons 35.
On the 35-yard line inside of the Falcons' territory, South Haven looking to potentially put this game away. Heavy rush scheme that we're seeing right now, trying to run down the clock and eliminate any chance of Franklin Christian making it back. We'll see if that defense has any way to respond. Toss overthrown, intended for Atkinson.
That's going to be, and that's a good call by the referees there. That is overthrown. No way Atkinson can get to that. He came up just a little bit, might have rolled his ankle there, but.
Oh, Atkinson, yeah, he's headed to the sideline. That is.
Oh, he's not putting any weight on that right
good.
ankle. But great call there by the officials. That ball was, unless you're going to call holding there, that's not pass interference. That ball was about 10 yards, a little bit too high there. No way Atkinson can make that catch. Good job of being disciplined, not reacting to the South Haven crowd.
Let's hope that everything's okay with Atkinson there. As we reach a 2nd down, the medical staff will be tending to him on the sideline. Hopefully nothing serious. Crawley, toss quickly, catch is made. Starnes. Noah Starnes to the left side, inside of the red zone for another 1st down. And the junior is certainly making his father proud tonight. Of course, Father Phil Starnes, the athletic director for South Haven, in attendance tonight. I'm sure he's making him proud right now.
Oh, yeah, with plays like that, get to the outside, quick stiff arm, as we get another shot of Atkinson there. Looks like they may be taping up his ankle. But get to the outside, give him that stiff arm, and there he goes for a 1st down.
Patriots plow along. They're now in the red zone. The handoff again to Starnes. And again, you see this situation. The Falcon defense knows very well how to wrap up and tackle. Seems that the issue they're having is it takes multiple people for them to bring anybody down.
And not only that, once they get to the outside, They have good form tackling, but taking down Dang, taking down Crawley, and all of them getting to their outside, and their speed has become a problem throughout this game. And this is huge. You have to stop them here.
2nd and 6. Instead of pitching it to Dang, Crawley goes up the middle, finally brought down from behind by several players, and 1st and goal inside of the 10-yard line.
And now, if we can, if we can watch this replay real quick. Watch what Crawley does with his eyes there. Here. Watch his eyes. Well, his helmet. Snaps, looks to his right, then cuts back, brings it down, cuts back left. There he goes, 1st and goal at about the 6-yard line. But just remember, a touchdown here is not the end of the world for Franklin Christian.
As the ball
it's a fumble.
Loose in the back, it's a fumble again. Who's going to get it
this
time?
Loose. That ball's still loose.
Great
Again, camera work.
The referees will not go into the pile, so who ends up with it? Franklin Christian gets it.
Here, let's watch this replay real quick.
Patriots bad snap.
Here we go, right.
Fumble on the play.
Right there. Fumble, bad snap. He goes down. Now watch this ball. This ball is still loose right there. Right there. And then Dang does everything he can, but on the bottom of the pile, you see Franklin Christian with the ball. Huge turnovers. We're gonna look at that one more time.
See if we can get it quickly as they're lining up, but just really close, and it was still loose. So now the Falcons have new life starting on their own 15 with the 1st and 10. As Dooley tosses it, the catch is made by Hasley. Hasley with a spin to get an extra yard down to the 31-yard line.
And what a good throw and pass there. But I'd like to give a shout-out to Jack right there, our cameraman, for that was a great angle on that fumble, being able to see that ball still loose. But there you go, 20 yards. 20 yards on 1st down. All of a sudden you're moving it. You got 6 minutes, about 6 minutes in counting right here to try and get a touchdown. You've got to score for the end of this quarter.
And the reception completed there by Andrew Hasley, the junior. Franklin Christian co-ops with West Academy out of Dixon, Tennessee.
That's going to be a false start in the center.
Yeah, false start in the center there. But Hasley, one of several players, I believe 3 or 4, that travel out from Dixon to Franklin to participate on the Franklin Christian team. And it's, Hasley started attending the FCA football program, started playing last year, and he's shown a name for himself already in his sophomore season. And as a junior, making a big play there.
He's already made a couple of big plays this game. But here we go. This game's still not over because of that huge play by Franklin Christian's defense.
1st and 15. Toss right side. The catch is incomplete. Owen Carpenter, the intended receiver there, and the Carpenter brothers, they've been targeted a decent amount of times tonight. They're just having struggles with getting the grip on the ball. And I think they're looking just upfield right before it gets to their hands, and that's an easy fix. Watch the ball come into your hands and then go upfield. A lot of these things again are easy fixes. As Sheets left side overthrew Carpenter again. Excuse me, not again. Overthrew Carpenter on that play.
Here we go. Third and about 16, third and about 17 yards here. And if you're like, I can't stress this enough. This is a huge 3rd down.
Clock at least stops with 5:02 left in the 3rd. Franklin Christian trying to get their first score of the night, potentially get it back in this game. 3 possessions with the amount of time they have left is plenty of time, but what do they do here? Sheets under pressure, stays on his feet, finally brought down from behind, tackled by Alex Martinez. And now FCA has got a tough decision to make.
Oh, they've got to punt this one away. As you're going to see on this replay right here, watch Dang off this left side right here. Reads the snap count again. He's got it down. Causes Sheets to step up, and he just has nowhere to go with the ball. As there was 1, 2, 3, there was 5 men rushing there. As are they gonna punt it?
They got a player for the Patriots deep back to receive, but we've seen fake punt attempts happen, and that won't be the case here. Sheets just punts it away, bounce all the way to the, picked up at the 44-yard line. We'll see a return from Drew Atkinson, and stopped in Falcon territory at the 47.
Good to see Atkinson back in the game.
Dooley's punt taken by Atkinson, stopped by Bramblett. Patriots have
Good to see him back in the game. Looked like it was a little bit of rolled ankle.
47-yard line.
And now 1st and 10 for South Haven. We'll see what they can try to do here. Possibly get another score and just finalize, possibly put a nail on the coffin. Of course, the mercy rule doesn't start until 35 points or more.
But a touchdown here is still at the end of the world, as I was going to say last time before the fumble. If they give up a touchdown for Franklin Christian and no 2-point conversion, 24-0, 3 touchdowns, 3 2-point conversions, and you're still in it. So no matter what, you have to score 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns. It's just going to be a little tougher if South Haven scores here.
Noah Starnes on the carry again for a gain of 3 yards for 2nd and 7 as South Haven continues to run out the clock, which is essentially the name of the game here for the Patriots. Just hold the lead and run it out so that the Falcons can't get 3 possessions and scores.
And if you're the Falcons, your defense has kept you in this game all night. Big. If you're on the offensive side here, you're thanking your defense right now.
Shovel pass right side. Manuel Dang again pushes through, forced out of bounds by Adam Hubble.
There he is again. That speed, but yeah, that speed for about 5, and you got about 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. Once Dang is going outside and gets going, he's hard to stop.
Brings up 3rd and 4.
So now on a 3rd down and 4, under 3 minutes left to go. Fortunately, the Falcons forced Dang out of bounds to stop the clock.
It's going to be a false start there on Atkinson at the bottom corner.
Take it back to 3rd and 9.
When just a few seconds early. Let's see if we can get that. Let's see if we can get that again. Let's see how early it was. I don't think it was that early, but I think he was a little bit.
False start penalty on the Patriots.
Nope, we didn't get it.
Penalty, replay 3rd down, be 3rd and 9.
Carson Dozier, the Whitecap tonight on the officiating crew, worked the 2018 MTAC Championship. Last year worked the quarterfinal game between Lancaster Christian and then Bowling Green Christian, which is now merged into Legacy Christian Academy at Bowling Green.
Now you have a 3rd and long. There's his fumble snap.
Fumbled as Crawley tries to push the pile. Can his teammates push it? They'll stop it right there.
Now here we go. Or do you punt it? Do you punt it here if you're South Haven? Do you punt it, try and pin them deep? Because Franklin Christian hasn't been able to move the ball that much. And all their big drives have came from shortened fields.
4 on the play brings up 4th and 5.
So now
yeah, I mean, it looks like they are gonna. Oh, it's either they're bringing in their big package or they're gonna punt.
More than likely, they'll punt here. I believe Martinez. It's either Martinez or Crawley is our main guy for punting it away.
And what a throw there to get that towel to the sideline. That was a good about a 30-yard throw from a towel. Towels don't go that far. What a throw there by Crawley. Watch for fake, potentially.
Saw that once, and it is a fake. You're absolutely right, but that defense read right through him. Andrew Crawley tried to get tackle in the backfield, or excuse me, tried to direct snap the ball, but Daniel Francis, the freshman, as we look at the replay here, because might have been a horse collar.
I don't think so. I think he got let's see. Nope, grabbed him right on the shoulder. Did not grab his shoulder, horse collar. That is right on the shoulder pad. Let's see this one more time. Right there, right on top of the shoulder. Right on top of the shoulder. Good call there.
Good no call by the officiating crew tonight. Ronnie Perkins, the coordinator for the majority of the officials around the TSIAA. And First and 10 here for the Falcons. Right side, the catch made. Owen Carpenter, it's one of the few receptions he's had for the night, but good, a really good gain there to go into Patriots territory.
And there we go. That's what you've wanted. They've had that throw all night long. They just haven't been able to make that connection. There it is. There's that connection.
Have it first and 10 at the Patriots.
And all of a sudden, look where you're at. You're at the 43-yard line of South Haven.
.70 seconds left to go in the third. Sheets, toss left, or excuse me, Dooley, toss it left there.
And that's going to be a late hit on, I think, number 12, Crawley, right? Let me see. Let me see if we can get the back end of this play. See if we can get the back end right here. Roughing the passer, right here. Here we go.
Yep, roughing the pass.
Let's see right here. Let's go with the ball. Again, we can't see it, but he lowered his shoulder, made the hit on a Dooley, and that is a 15-yard penalty.
Be a 15-yard penalty.
So moves it forward, and Falcons inside the 30.
First and 10 from the Patriots
29-yard
line.
Score here. Score here, thanking your defense and your special teams. What a big stop on that in special teams.
Can the Falcons get their first score of the game here, or do they have to push farther down? It's Dooley. He's got pressure. Deep toss left side. Toss up. Incredible! Touchdown! Falcons' first score of the game, Andrew Hasley. What a spectacular catch. Wow!
Let's see right here.
Dooley's pass caught by Hasley.
Right here. Dooley rolls out to his left side, right? Throws it deep. And what you can't see here is watch the defender. Perfect time. Hits back up. Tackled. Wow, what perseverance there by Andrew Hasley. And there we go. 18-6, two-score game.
Two-score game, and can the Falcons do what the Patriots haven't done thus far and get a two-point conversion? That's the question.
And this is why it's big, because a touchdown here by South Haven, as we have a timeout, official timeout, may be a clock issue.
Looks like a timeout call by Franklin Christian.
Taken by the Falcons.
That's huge. Something to look out for later in this game.
Timeout by Franklin Christian. 44 seconds left to go in the third, and as they're trying to get their fans hyped up here in stadium, Spencer Thompson, Zachary Lone, and Jack Helwig bringing you the action here from Franklin, Tennessee at Jim Warren Park. You could see from across the field. Maybe we could get a shot of it. You see those lights over there? We'll see if they get it. Those spotlights over there. That's where Franklin Classical is having their debut game right now. See if we can get the score for that. Right now, as it stands, it's still halftime, or at least no scoring update over there. Ezel Harding leading 22-12 over Franklin Classical, and that is a huge game for playoff implications as well between Ezel Harding and Franklin Classical.
And if you're Ezel Harding, you want this game so bad, especially after going up so big last week against the Heat, and then them scoring on the second to last play of the game. It would be a huge momentum builder.
A lot of different scores going around the league, and that's why they called the timeout. They're going to give Hasley, after scoring the touchdown, he could get the extra point here. 44 seconds left in the third. And kick is up through the uprights. It's perfect. 18-7.
Hasley's kick is good. We have a marker on the play.
There is a flag.
Could it be roughing the kicker?
Which that penalty can be enforced on the kickoff. We'll see what Dozier tells us. It's a personal foul.
Roughing the kicker.
Roughing the kicker, and that looks like that will be assessed on the kickoff since the extra point is good.
So
personal foul penalty, roughing the kicker on the Patriots.
Watch for the. This is where you're going to do the onside if you're Franklin Christian. Look for the onside right here.
Let's update the scores for you around league since we're in the third quarter now. Third quarter, 33-14. The Webb School is still leading the Tennessee Heat going into the second half. Still halftime over at Fred Lane Field, just across the street. 34-6 in the third quarter. Riverside Christian. It's a dominant lead over the Lighthouse Lions. And those are out of the 4 games we got going on tonight.
And now look, they're kicking from the 45-yard line. Ball goes 10 yards. Even if they don't recover, they get the ball to Southaven have the ball to the 35-yard line. This is a dream scenario if you're Franklin Christian. I think that was Dang on that hit the kicker. Almost blocked it and then just went a little bit too hard into the kicker.
Another onside kick attempt and immediately fallen on by Jake Atkinson. It's a sophomore getting a rep in there on the kickoff, and see if the Patriots can march it down the field here starting from their own 37-yard line.
But going for that, going for one there instead of going for two, could come back to haunt Southaven. But what it does do is FCA, my bad. But what it does do is FCA scores. If they score next, score for 2, get that 18-15. All of a sudden, you're only 3 points down to where you don't have to go down the infield at the end of the game and score a touchdown.
So 1st and 10 now.
Oh, there
and
it is.
Another over-the-head snap. That's about the 3rd time we've seen it this game. Crawley does fall on it, but we saw 2 of those from Franklin Christian and now 1 from Southaven.
Let's watch that replay real quick.
And likely that's going to let time expire in the 3rd.
Yeah, it was just right over the outstretched arms of Crawley, and we're gonna go into the 4th.
Yep.
We're gonna go into the 4th. 2nd and 30. 2nd and 35.
That's the end of the
They're going to switch sides of the field.
Patriots
The
18,
Kingdom.com
Falcons
Extreme
7.
Game of the Week is sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Grow, Live, Give, helping you fit all of the pieces together in your financial puzzle. Tennessee Heat Athletics. Visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. And by Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, Clarksville, and Goodlettsville. Let's get Jets.
Go live.
Start of the 4th quarter. 12 minutes left for Franklin Christian to try and make it back as Crawley tosses it incomplete.
Is that intercepted? That
No,
may be intercepted.
no, that hit the ground.
Let's see if we can get that.
Adam Hubble, that hit the ground first. He tried to sell it. He definitely tried to sell it there, but incomplete for the 3rd down.
As we will not get that replay.
It'll start loading probably in a little bit.
There it is.
Because of the Be Right Back screen. There it is. Quick toss.
Oh, that hit the ground.
Yeah,
What an
he
effort.
sold it. He sold it pretty well.
But what an effort. He got up. He threw his hands up, and he said, this is all I can do, coach. As you have now 3rd and that's third and almost 40.
Yeah, third and more than a quarter of the field. Just told by a producer, third and 36, long distance. As another rush up the middle by Emmanuel Dang, and they're just going to try to wind down the clock here for leading to fourth down.
And after that last incomplete pass, the clock kept running there. Went off for a good 20 seconds on the game clock. So we have 11 minutes to go. 11:10 to go in the game. And this has to be a punt, right?
You would think so.
Jack, real quick, they can't hear me on broadcast. We're going to get a shot of Sawyers after this
and
punt, and then we'll go to Johnson shortly after.
Let's here we go. 16.
Sawyers is there, so South Haven.
Isaiah Kimbrough out back to punt.
It's now fourth down. Punt away. As Falcons had someone deep back to receive, they're just going to let it stay, and it'll remain in Patriots territory. That was Braden Barnhill who just kicked it with his foot there. That's almost mistaking it for soccer.
And that's subtle. That's subtle. And they gave it to him. They actually gave him the ball where he kicked it into. What? But see, that's what they do. That's what you do. You try and you get those subtle little tricks as you see that's what upperclassmen do. They know the little tricks in and out of the game. Gets you an extra yard there.
First and 10. Dooley with the pressure, almost could have been intercepted by Deng there, and incomplete. Coach James Sawyers in his first season as the leader for the South Haven Patriots. Of course, Jason Zimmerman still on the sidelines, not the defensive coordinator. Sawyers took over that role as well, but Zimmerman still influencing with the guys down there and trying to give him some wisdom from his championship season in 2017 and his leadership he had in 18 and 19 as Dooley throws an incomplete pass to the ground intended there for Hasley.
And this is 4-down territory if you're Franklin Christian. Watch for them to maybe try and run another screen or run the ball up the middle, trying to get a few more yards to where it's 4th and medium or 4th and short, just so they're in position. Because you don't want to go down. You don't want to be at 4th and 10.
As Tim Johnson, we had a shot of him a second ago. Was a former head coach at Lincoln County. As incomplete pass intended to Owen Carpenter.
It looked like he was held there. Let's see if we can get that on the replay right at the top of the route. Here it is. Let's see, right at the top of the route. Right there. Right there. He was a little early.
As this play is about to start again, Coach Tim Johnson was 2 seasons head coach at Lincoln County and then hired by Franklin Christian Academy in the offseason. Previously, Steve Adams, the head coach for Falcons. Dooley, incredible catch. Dooley tossed to Carpenter with the connection. Touchdown. And the Falcons are 1 score away from tying it up. He broke the pylon. Almost looked like the pylon was busted there. Incredible touchdown.
And here it is. Watch him roll out to his right. Throws it. There he is, right in the middle of the field. Carpenter, end zone. And all of a sudden, don't look now, but it's 18-13.
It almost looked like the pylon was broken there, but it's back up and standing. It's a little bit crooked on the edge there, so shows how much of an athletic play. Well, they call a timeout there. Let's see if we could get an angle on that pylon. See if is it tilted a little bit? It looks like it. If there's anyone who just tuned into this broadcast and they just saw a random out of context shot of the pylon, well, touchdown just scored by Franklin Christian. So with 9:47 left to go in the 4th quarter, it's a chance to make it a 4-point game. And this is where 2-point conversions, the ones that South Haven hasn't made, it's damaging them.
And if I'm not mistaken, was that FCA's second? Did FCA call timeout?
Yep.
They're down to 1 timeout.
they've called a timeout on both of the point after tries, 2-point conversion attempts. So they better hope that they don't have to use more than one timeout.
Here we go. You got to go. This is what's. I think they called a timeout because they sent their kicking team out. They looked at the scoreboard, saw, oh, it's 18-13. Let's get this 2-point conversion because we have a kicker who is able to make field goals, make it 18-15, get into a one-score game to where you don't have to score a touchdown.
So now they're going to go for the 2-point conversion, make it a 3-point game to potentially put in field goal position to tie it. Because they do have a field goal kicker, but the question is, do they make it here? Through the middle,
Fumble.
loses the football, and the
Wait, is he
2-point
in?
conversion's good.
He is.
Recovered the fumble, and what a recovery by, I believe, that was a recovery by Andy Reid, and the Falcons are within 3. Casey Jorgensen celebrating there.
Here we go. Watch him right here. He stretches, fumbled, doesn't get it, gets back up. And who is that? It's number 12. Great heads-up play there. Great heads-up play there by number 12, Andy Reid, the senior. And this is where the veteran leadership came into play for Franklin Christian Academy. Younger team may have given up there, may have said, hey, we're down 18 with 1 minute to go in the third quarter. It's over. All of a sudden, South Haven's driving, fumbles the ball out there. At Franklin Christian's 15. Franklin Christian drives down the field, scores a touchdown. 3 and out for South Haven. Goes down the field. Franklin Christian goes down the field, scores a touchdown on 4th and 11 from the 40-yard line. And that's why it's so important in these type of games, especially early in the year, to see these type of comebacks, because if you're Coach Johnson, you want to see how your team responds to pressure.
We haven't seen any deep-booted kickoffs so far in this game.
I think the initial kickoff went at least past the 45.
Went
Maybe.
a little bit. We'll see what Hasley can do. 3-point game. Now the crowd here at Jim Warren Park is getting incredibly fired up as the Falcons, and it is more of a squib kick. That's picked up by Benjamin Sordo going to the left side, and he's brought down at about the 33-yard line. So we'll see how the Patriots respond to now 15 unanswered points in the second half.
And here we go. This is why you're gonna see. This is where you're gonna see 2 veteran teams coached by 2 rookie coaches. Let's see what they have here. Well, not rookie coaches, but rookie to the team.
Yeah,
it's
rookie
always,
to 8-man.
Yes, exactly. It's always interesting to see how players respond to their coaches. And in FCA's case, they responded pretty well.
So on 1st and 10, let's see what the Patriots could do. Crawley deep toss to Dang and almost overshot, incomplete. Close to an interception, and the coverage there by the Falcons is incredible on Emmanuel Dang.
Actually, if we're going to see this right here, that's great coverage by Dang. Here we go right here. Watch, Crawley tries to go for the deep shot as Andrew Hazley is right there. Now watch him right there. Dang, right there. It was in Hazley's hand. Dang comes, knocks it out. That's great recognition there by Dang to make sure that's not an interception there.
So a good move to prevent the interception by Dang, knowing he wouldn't be able to catch it. It's now 2nd and 10. Crawley looking for an attempt there. The catch is made by Starnes. Noah Starnes dives to the first down.
That's the first down by Starnes. But when you look at the last play that South Haven ran, Franklin Christian brought the blitz, and South Haven noticed that. And that's where a veteran play caller by Crawley calls that little screen pass where get him an open space, looks up, no one's there within 10 yards, gets that first down, and you get to run some more clock off.
It's now some scoring updates for you. 22-18 over across the street. So Classical is making a comeback against Ezel Harding. Here's a 1st and 10. Crawley pushes past his man. Dang gets maybe a gain of a yard on the play. Make that now 2nd down and 9. Some other updates, still 42-6 in the 4th quarter for Riverside over Lighthouse, probably just wrapping up that game in Fayetteville. And still 33-14 in the 4th quarter. It looks like James will take the L on one of those games, but hey, he only lost 10 games out of his preseason predictions last year. So.
That's another loss for me as well.
That's what happens when you take James on almost every single game.
I really wanted to pick Webb. I knew it's a tough place to play, but I was like,
You should have gone with your gut, man.
I should have gone with my gut. I said last week I was going to go with my gut next week.
That's why they're predictions. It's what you think at the time.
Exactly. Be like Lee Corso. Nobody's going to want me to pick their team.
Both of the close games are here in Franklin, Tennessee. 2nd down, pitch to Dang in the backfield. Dang getting through, staying on his feet. Gain of about 6 yards across midfield. And now knocking on the door of a 1st down in Falcons territory.
Touchdown save and tackle there by number 22, Nathan Rich. Is that Richley? Richley. As we're going to watch this replay real quick. Can we get it?
Yep.
It's a little blurry, but here we go. Right here, Richley lowers his shoulder, takes him down, and that can't be understated. That's understated right there. Most people say, oh, it's a 5-yard gain. But Dang gets right there to that outside. That's a touchdown.
3rd and 5. Pitch to Dang in the backfield. He's got some space to work with. Going to get the 1st down and an extra yard gain. So now inside of the 45, the Falcons defense is having a tough task ahead of them to prevent another score.
And what a great block right there by Sam Hintrich right there. He set the edge and didn't allow that right side of Franklin Christian to get to Dang before he was able to get up his whole his speed. My bad, stumbling over my words right there.
Hintrich is trying to do everything for his team as Crawley hands it off to Dang again. That defense is not giving Dang a chance at all. And big plays like that from Isaiah Kimbrough are the reason the Falcons are only down by 3 at this point.
And here we go, right here.
3 yards on the play, excuse me.
Watch the penetration right here, right up the middle. I can't see his number right there. Forces Dang bit to cut back to the left, right into Isaiah Kimbrough. And here you go, 6 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the game. This is where the timeout situation comes into play.
And this game has been all but incredible. And intercepted. The Falcons get a pick. Oh, wait. Incomplete.
Oh, he dropped it.
We'll get a replay there. Could have been an amazing play by Dawson Still. Tried to get it going to the ground, but just couldn't secure it. And looks like we got there goes Drew Atkinson again. He's hobbling.
As here we go with a replay.
Atkinson again is going to have to be looked at by the medical staff. Hobbling again.
Up 3rd and 13.
It's either that or he's clenching his wrist.
There it is, right here.
So almost an interception. Did we get the? It's hard to see.
Another good play by the Franklin Christian receivers right there.
So now here's in the backfield, Dang staying on his feet, trying to cut across it. Finally brought down at the 41-yard line. And now on 4th down, the sideline for FCA on the other side of the field, and the fans here in stadium are enjoying every second of it.
And here we go. Let's see. Here we go. Replay right here. Watch Dang right there. Great penetration to the left. Forces Dang going back to the right. And what a play! As here we go. We're probably gonna have about 5 minutes to go before 5 minutes before the snap.
4th down and flags thrown. Likely a false start. They're gonna move it back another 5 yards.
Marker on the play. Dead ball, false start penalty on the Patriots. 5-yard penalty, replay, 4th down.
As the clock has been running throughout this whole, the clock hasn't stopped. They ran 30 seconds off right there.
Yeah, the clock has been stopped there, even with the penalty there, and lost the backfield. Falcons are going to get great field advantage at the 30, about the 32. And Franklin Christian, from being down 18-0 at the half, they have a chance to take the lead here.
And here we go. Watch this. Watch this replay. Now watch this. This is a low snap. There's been a lot of low snaps this game. Right there. He picks it up, and he can't get it out. He doesn't have time to get a punt off. And now here we go. 33-yard line. 4:20 to go. 15-18. 15 unanswered. Here we go.
And left side, Andrew Hasley again. Andrew Hasley to the house! The Falcons take the lead!
Incredible. Wow, let's see this replay real quick. That's the veteran leadership right here. There's a play. There's
Flags
a flag.
thrown in the end zone, probably for excessive celebration, but
right here.
Hasley with the catch, incredible.
Doesn't go down, spin move outside. Is there any blocks behind the play? No, we do not have any flags behind the play. That has to be excessive celebration. But here we go. 4:02 to go in the game. Yeah, sorry. We'll get it. Four teams are talking about the game.
Talking about the penalties to make sure it was, and
penalties, my bad.
afterwards. And we wish our microphone was good. The touchdown is good.
So it's going to be excessive celebration.
Sideline warning given to FCA.
So since this is a warning, it may not be a 15-yard penalty.
No.
Pass complete to Hasley.
I'm trying to remember if it's I think it's just a sideline warning and a 5-yard penalty on the first one, and then it's 15 on the second. And then third one, regardless of what it is, it's coach ejection. That's if it's the third sideline warning. It doesn't matter which coach it is. The head coach gets ejected if he can't get his guys controlled by the third offense. But just the first one, so nothing to worry about. 21-18. Can they get the 2-point conversion to make it a 5-point game? They do. Amazing catch by Nathan Ritchie. So make that 23-18. It's a 5-point game. So the Patriots do have to get a touchdown.
And yeah, they do.
23, Patriots 18.
So there's been 23 unanswered points in the last 9 minutes? Yeah, last 9 minutes. See, both of these offenses have quick strike potential. SCA has shown that. Their defense has came up in big situations, and they've been able to stop South Haven's offense and being able to get the ball back. If you're Franklin Christian right now, you go to your defensive guys and you give them all a big thank you right now, and your special teams guys. They have kept you into this game.
Again, Shaka Hill is one of the major reasons the Falcons have always been in playoff talks. This game doesn't have any impact on the postseason. However, it's, as James would say, it's a barn burner. Update for you. 33-21 in the fourth quarter. Webb still leading over the Heat. Heat just down by 2 touchdowns. And Franklin Classical in the third quarter, 24-22 over Ezel Harding. They've been making a comeback. And fourth quarter, 48-6 for Riverside Christian over Lighthouse. That game probably going to be finalized pretty soon in Fayetteville. But we're at what the intense games are. And that kick goes out of bounds. So Patriots have good field advantage on the 40-yard line.
As no time goes off right there. Yeah, I think they'll probably just be a declined penalty because the deep kick might have them lose yards, honestly. But South Haven, they moved the ball in the first half. We're able to score. But those 2-point conversions are starting to haunt them right now.
40-yard line.
Toss to the outs. Excuse me. I was looking at the kickoff ball that was tossed to the sideline. That was tossed out to Coach Hentrich, who is former punter for the Tennessee Titans.
Is that there?
And FCA uses its final timeout, it looks like.
Timeout taken by the Falcons. That's their third and final timeout of
Yeah,
the half.
let's hope that the Patriots. I can't remember. I think they have 2 timeouts left. But
I'm pretty sure they have 2, if not 3. I don't have 2. They had 2. Our producer Jack just let us know that.
Kudos to Jack for helping us with camera work and being in the words of him, just what a guy, what an absolute guy. Before we resume, just want to remind you all the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week, sponsored by Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Grow, Live, Give, helping you fit all of the pieces together in your financial puzzle. Tennessee Heat Athletics, visit TennesseeHeatSports.com. And by Jets Pizza of Springfield, Fort Campbell, Clarksville, and Goodlettsville. Let's get Jets. Spencer Thompson, Zachary Lone, Jack Helwig, proud to be here at Jim Warren Park. Like I said, my old broadcasting grounds. It's I don't think I have any influence on what's been going on in the game here, but it's always good to see tense rivalries. Crawley airs it out to the deep right, over through his man. That was intended for Drew Atkinson again. 3:53 on the game clock as it goes to 2nd and 10. We'll see what South Haven can do.
So there was a little bit of push and shove at the top of the route there. Looks like South Haven may be just getting a little frustrated right now. But you have Dang, who's been able to make some huge plays this game. Look for him to maybe get to the outside here, maybe put them in motion, or have him throw it his way, and him get a lot of yards.
And flags thrown. It was a high snap. Looks like they got a probably false start.
We have a marker on the play.
Waiting for Dozier to give us the story. Again, we'll get that lapel module, and too many men on the field on the defense. It was either that or ineligible substitution, one of the two. So make that now 2nd and move it up there.
Is that a 10-yard penalty? Wow.
I guess that's a 10-yard penalty.
That's not even a 10-yard penalty. That's like a 9 3/4 penalty. So here we go. They're about to talk
Stoppage,
this over.
Yeah, they're probably talking it over about the penalty length.
It depends on what they called. It was an illegal substitution because the legal substitution signal is a hand over the heart.
Yeah, it's probably too many men on the field. Just waiting on Dozier and company to figure out the story. Yeah, it looks like they're going to move it there.
Oh, nope, it's a first down.
It's a first down.
So it must have been something else. Wow.
That'll be interesting to talk about.
On the field, penalty against the Falcons.
At least it's announced at stadium, too many men on the field.
First down,
and we'll see how it goes from there. 1st and 10 on the 50, and Dang to the backfield.
This is trick play.
Trick play. He's going to air it out to the right side. Oh, would have been perfectly executed had the catch been made by Drew Atkinson, but great coverage by Hasley to break it up.
Here we go. We're about to see the replay here. There we go. Watch this pitch outside.
Dang's pass.
Atkinson leaks out, throws it, comes back. Oh, almost a great catch there.
And it is final in Fayetteville, 48-6. Riverside Christian gets their first win of the year against the Lighthouse Christian School Lions, a game they picked up a few weeks ago. As Dang goes up the middle again. He's got some space. Manuel Dang tripped up down to the 40-yard line, and looks like they will spot him short at the 39, just short of the first down marker. But the Patriots might have a new spark back in their system.
And here we go. There it is. That was a fumble snap there. Handed off to Dang. Dang runs up the middle. And once he, like we've said multiple times, once he gets a hint of a hole and gets his speed running up, he's difficult to tackle. So here we go.
as another attempted rush and
tackled forwards.
managed to get maybe a yard gain there, but the Falcon defense forces it to be 3rd down and 10.
And that's another case of the Falcons defense winning the battle of the lines right there. Multiple times, 3, 4, 5 times in big situations. Franklin Christian's defensive line has been up to the task as we have 2.5 minutes to go. Biggest play of the game.
4th down and 2. Can
False
Crawley
start.
get over there?
It's going to be a false start on Dang in the backfield.
Yep. Well, they're discussing it.
Because Dang went a second too early.
And, yep,
Dead
it's
ball.
on the offense.
False start penalty on the Patriots. 5-yard penalty replay. 4th down, 4th and 6.
So they're officially in
From
the
the
4th
46.
quarter at the classical Esau Harding game. 24-22, Franklin Classical leads it. We'll give you updates as we get them. 2:27 left to go in the 4th.
It's not the end of the world here, though, if you're South Haven, if you don't get a first down. Get 2 timeouts.
And movement again.
No, we have a timeout. Timeout.
Fortunately, South Haven called a timeout there before the movement happened, but there was a false start there. And I believe that's one timeout left for Patriots. Oh, it's their first of the half. They've got 2 more. So they've got some room to work with. But
So on that play, I don't know if that would have been a false start because Sam Hintrich is on the edge of the line, considered the tight end position. Your skill position receivers are allowed to stand up. It's so your offensive line to turn and look at the quarterback, get the play call. I think there was just too much confusion there. As 18 seconds ran off there.
it's not 2:09 left in the game, and down to the 4th quarter in both games occurring in Franklin, and game out in Bell Buckle, Tennessee is in the 4th quarter as well. 33-21. Webb School leading by 12. Give you updates as we hear them from there.
So here we go. Biggest play of the game.
4th down. And a high snap. Crawley trying to stay on his feet, and he tries
That's
tossing
an eligible
it.
receiver. So that's
Going to be is
actually,
that
that's
going to be
huge.
intentional grounding?
No, because 33-33 right there for South Haven. Isaac Taylor was in the area. So here we go. We have 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Actually, that come back to be huge, honestly.
The officials discussing, but yeah, that will be a turnover on downs.
Falcons have it 1st and 10 from the Falcons.
They're spotting it at
46-yard line.
They're spotting it at the 46, back at the line of scrimmage, because they're ruling it an incomplete pass. So back at the 46.
Heads up play there by Crawley though. Snap over his head. Most players there fall on the ball, as you've seen multiple times throughout this game. But knowing the time, knowing the situation, knowing that if you fall on the ball there, Franklin Christian gets the ball at the 35, 30-yard line, and the game's basically over. So here we go.
As the Falcons try to rush it up the middle, try to run down the clock. And again, 2 timeouts for South Haven, so they're going to try to conserve as much time as they can. Scoring update for you, 33-28. The Webb School leading over the Tennessee Heat right now, so make that a 5-point game in Bell Buckle, and the Heat right now scored 14 unanswered points in the 4th quarter. I mean, we said we probably jinxed James on there, but it's the Tennessee Heat. Whenever they're down, they get back up again, and we'll see what we got. We'll see what we got around the rest of the night. It's still 24-22. Classical leading over Esau Harding. Again, that could make or break if somebody gets into the Division I playoffs or not, depending on how things shape out for Classical and Esau Harding. But of course, this game no impact on the playoffs. Same with Esau Harding, 30-24. Esau Harding took the lead, 20-yard run by Jamari Liddell, and the extra point good, so a 6-point lead right now for Esau Harding. But at least here in Franklin at Jim Warren, 156. There's a rush right side. He's got some opening, but Sheets stopped. And a timeout called as Drew Atkinson again is injured. Atkinson has had several injuries tonight. He's got a
It looks like it's his finger. Oh, that's his.
Timeout. Taken by the Patriots. That's
he
their
has
third
been
and final timeout
he's
of the
gone
half.
through it all tonight. Atkinson has had some different. Atkinson has played hard, definitely, but with those 3 injuries, it's probably time for him to permanently stay out.
Depends on how severe the injury is. You don't want to. Yeah, they're taking him out. Oh. Oh, he's hurting. That's not good. But here you go. 3rd and about 3.5 yards. If you're Classical, no, if you're South Haven, you haven't been able to stop Classical all night. On no, not all night. All second half. My bad. All second half. At all. They've been able to move the ball basically at will. So what do you do here with Atkinson, one of your best players, on the bench? Looks like they're going to run to the left side.
This play makes or breaks the game. And there's to Sheets. And he's going to dive for the first down. That's going to do it. Just a few more victory formations. And Franklin Christian, 23 unanswered points in the second half. Incredible stuff from Tim Johnson and company.
And that's the sign of a veteran team, like we said multiple times. They never give up. Their veteran leadership was key here. As they kept telling guys, hey, guys, let's go. Come on, let's go. We're still in it. We're still in it. Quick score here. Quick score there. And before you know it, it's 18-7, 18-15, 23-18.
Incredible. And now it's 41-28 in Bell Buckle. The Webb School taking a more strong lead against the Tennessee Heat. So
looks like we jinxed it again.
Depends on how that game. Depends on how the Tennessee Heat play in the last few minutes of the fourth quarter. And victory formation here for the Falcons. So we are going to head down to the field in just a few moments. And with the Falcons, 23 unanswered points, an incredible move. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again. Be sure to stay tuned here for the post-game show. We'll talk on the field about our thoughts of this game, give you the final scores on the rest of the games around the TSIAA, and we'll interview the victorious coach and Coach Tim Johnson. So that's going to wrap it up here from Jim Warren Park. Stay tuned for the post-game. The Falcons incredibly get it done at home. We're headed down to the field. Stay tuned. Welcome, everybody, to the post-game show. I'm Spencer Thompson. That's Zachary Lowen. Incredible just to see from Jim Warren Park. 23 unanswered points in the second half for the Franklin Christian Academy Falcons, and what looked like a strong South Haven team to start out the first half. There's still a strong South Haven team, Zachary. That's the important thing, because to go up 18-0, you know, if they had gotten it's just little mistakes that they could probably correct. Because if you had gotten the 2-point conversions earlier, then this would still be a South Haven victory.
Not only that, the 2-point conversions, also right when the tides turned, the 1-minute mark in the first third quarter was when South Haven fumbled the ball inside their own 15-yard line, their Franklin Christian's 15-yard line. Franklin Christian gets it, goes down, scores a touchdown, and then it all went downhill from there for him. But if you're a South Haven, you're fine. Like, played a great game, absolutely incredible game, and he kept going and playing. And this is veteran leadership, really good veteran leadership.
Yeah, you look at Franklin Christian, of course, they have Zach Dooley returning as a senior, Asa Sheets, Hasley returning from his sophomore year as a junior. It's just those kind of leaders are what Franklin Christian is looking for. And although this game has no impact on the postseason, FCA is going to use this motivational factor to win out their South games, especially down the stretch when they've got really tough opponents.
Oh, definitely. And if you're FCA, you keep your head held high. Well, not FCA. Well, they won. They're like, so second half, you take that momentum and you're like, hey, we scored 23 unanswered on the best team in MTAC. Well, not MTAC, the new.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Formerly MTAC,
yes.
but TSIAA.
Yeah, TSIAA. And then you're like, hey, let's take this momentum to the next week. Let's take it into the next week. We've got the talent. They have the talent. As we saw tonight, they had the talent to keep going. They had the talent to maybe run the table.
Yep. And like James predicted, they thought they were going to go undefeated, but hey, James had 10 games last season that he missed out on. This will just add to the list for this season. I believe he's got 2 games now he's lost out on at this point, and you've got the same amount, something like that.
No, I have one more because last week I picked Freedom. I picked Freedom.
Yeah, you picked Freedom over CCS. But hey, I mean that's what happens when you take the prediction game. You're gonna miss some, you're gonna lose some and such. But as you can see behind us, the FCA family just celebrating this win, especially for their first game at home. They travel on the road for, I believe, 2-3 weeks before they head back here to host their first game of the MTAC South game, the MTAC South, implicating playoffs against, I believe, Riverside Christian. But as we were waiting on Coach Johnson to come over here after he's talking to his guys, let's give you an update from what we have seen so far. So just across the street with the spotlights, whoo! It is 30-30 in the fourth quarter. Ezel Harding is taking a tough one, and I believe the 2-point conversion was no good on that. Yep, extra point no good, so it's tied at 30. So that might very well be going to overtime over at Franklin Classical. And, of course, the final 48-6, Riverside Christian over Lighthouse Christian. And right now it's still in the fourth quarter, 41-28, the Webb School leading over the Tennessee Heat. But while we're waiting on Coach Johnson, let's talk, of course, about the game of Riverside and Lighthouse. 48-6. On paper, I'm sure we'll have to see the film afterwards and see how that goes. But that just shows Riverside Christian. The South is stacked this year. Even though there's more teams in it, the TSIA South is completely stacked, and they're ready to go.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And Riverside going out there and getting the early win, going up and winning by 42 points, is going to be big for the rest of the year. But like you said, the South is extremely stacked. You're going to have a couple of teams miss the playoffs that were more than qualified to make it.
Yeah, a lot of teams, and of course, only one team from the North is going to miss out on the postseason. And right now, Sacred Heart is the only team who would be sitting on the outside of that. But that's just because they've only played the one game thus far. So what we're looking at right now in this 23-18 game, this final score on here. So Franklin Christian, they go on the road for a few divisional games, a few interdivisional games in MTAC, which is going to be pretty incredible to see. And as for South Haven, this is one of a 3-game road stretch, and I believe their first game that impacts their seeding in the conference is at home against Christian Community. So they've got a few games to get their guys ready, shake off some rust before they face somebody, and this time it's at home against the Dynasty and Christian Community.
Just little things. If that fumble doesn't happen, if third down right here, you never know what happens. Fixable on the punts, low snaps, young, inexperienced offensive line and defensive lines, and that kind of show that came out to play. But when you get about 2-3 weeks in, and you're playing Christian Community, and it's an division game, look for this offensive line to make these small mistakes because these are very fixable mistakes. We've seen the past 3 weeks, we've seen games lost by fixable mistakes. You haven't seen any team get completely outclassed with not the same talent. It's been good. We've had 3 pretty decent games.
At least from the first 3 games that we've seen, even though there was that blowout with Ezekiel Academy over Freedom, that was the only game in his coaching career where he thinks every mistake that happened there can be fixed, which is incredible to hear from a coach. Just want to thank again our producer Jack Helwig up there in the broadcast booth, starting to get some things wrapped up and getting things prepared to. There he is with the headset. I want to thank Jack Helwig for being our producer in the booth so far, and we're still waiting on Coach Johnson. He's talking with a lot of his guys to go over some other things. Now he had to talk to, I believe you could see on the camera shot, he's talking to the school's headmaster, Hugh Harris, who's probably really excited about this W and such. One of the long traditions, of course, for Franklin Christian is they have their school mascot, per se, Bingo, and Hugh Harris's dog, who manages to go several times to pick up the kicking tee. Once the play is over on a kickoff. So, but Hugh Harris loves football. He's very involved with the football program, and it's part of the reason they've won 2 championships in the last 5 years, which has been which after this game going a little bit too far, even though it is the first game. But what do you see down the stretch for Franklin Christian?
For Franklin Christian, biggest part of the game, whole game, their defense. Their offense made plays in the second half. Their defense the whole game. Their offense put them in bad positions in the first half where they weren't able to, where they weren't able to move the ball as much in the first half because of that South Haven offense. But look at the defense that kept them in the game the whole game. The whole game. There was 3, 4, 5 times you can think of on the top of my head where their defense stood tall. They're like, you're not going to score on us today, or we're going to give it back to our offense in great field position. And you got to be excited. Your defense is strong.
Their defense incredibly strong, and again, thanks to the head coaching abilities of Shaka Hills. We're still waiting on Coach Johnson. We'll get the interview with him probably shortly. But for South Haven, tough loss on the road. They've got this game on a 3-game road stretch before they have their first home game against Christian Community. What do they take away from this game?
South Haven, you're like, if you're South Haven, head held high, you played a great game, great first half, absolutely great first half. You dominated that first half, where it was 18-0. It's just, like you said, they kind of collapse in the late third, early fourth, to where you look up at the scoreboard, it's 18-7, 18-15, 23-18, and you don't really expect that from a veteran team, but that just shows you how good this FCA team is. And this South Haven team, they could possibly run the table in that North Division.
Yeah, as James predicted, he thought, of course, they were going to go undefeated on the year, but with his predictions, they still can go undefeated in the North and become the number 1 seed, as James predicted, and get that first round bye. But as we look at the Tennessee High School football app, still in the fourth quarter for Ezel Harding and Franklin Classical, 41-28 in Bell Buckle. Likely the Webb School is going to get the victory against the Tennessee Heat and deal them their first loss of the season. But, of course, it is an 11-man football game, so it doesn't matter as much. But, of course, final score, Riverside Christian 48, Lighthouse Christian 6 in Fayetteville. And then the final here, 23-18. Franklin Christian gets the motivationally needed victory on the road, at home, to come back from an 18-point deficit to get 23 points straight. Still waiting on Coach Johnson. He's probably meeting still with some of his players and talking to some of his guys, and still waiting to hear from them and see what we can hear from him on the post game, as trying to see if I can find him on possibly Fisherman.
I think he's still talking to a headmaster.
He's probably talking to Hugh Harris, and again, it's the long conversations after the game. I'm sure they have some suggestions about the game, but it's going to be really interesting to see how Franklin Christian runs the table in South. Of course, they still have major South opponents like Lancaster Christian, who we're going to see their first game tomorrow night, and they've still got Riverside Christian, who just completely took it to Lighthouse Christian School, and the other teams in the South. Right now, it's tied between Classical and Ezel Harding, unless we get a final score report. So the South, as we mentioned, it is stacked, but at least for Franklin Christian, they've got a decent chance to run the table.
And it does look like I may be blind, but I don't see the lights. Could the game be over?
We saw them pretty much up there. I don't know if they got out there that fast. Probably they're still packing up some stuff. Maybe.
Let's see. Producer Jack, is the light still on over there? So
yeah,
they
the lights are
still
still on, according to our producer over there, as still waiting on Coach Johnson. Of course, they're doing a breakdown with Hugh Harris to see what's going to happen from there. But in terms of Classical and Ezel Harding, that is going to be whoever wins that game. It's again could influence who gets into the Division I playoffs and who stays in Division II.
Exactly, and this is one of the games here at Ezel you have to win, especially after last week going up big and then not being able to pull that one out. This is a must-win game for Ezel. Not as much for Franklin Classical. Good, of course, it's good. You want to win all of your in-district games, but going up those past 2 games, and now having yourself in the position you had the past 2 games, you grow up as a football team. This is where you're going to start seeing players grow up and being able to take that leadership in the fourth quarter.
So we do have a scoring update as of 19 seconds ago. A 10-yard touchdown pass from Jamari Liddell to Stockard. The extra point is good, 38-30. Ezel Harding has taken the lead over at Fred Lane Field, so it depends on how much time is left in the game on if the Franklin Classical School Knights can make the comeback, as we're still waiting on Coach Johnson meeting with his team and trying to get everything discussed out, waiting on the Tennessee High School football app to give us any more updates as we receive them. But
is the Webb game still going on?
Yes, right now Webb is still leading 41-28, so it's probably winding down in the last bit of the fourth quarter unless another score comes out, and we could be surprised. My phone's still going off. Looks like nothing so far from the rest of those games. But again, thank you for those of you who are sticking with us. We're still waiting on Coach Johnson. I believe he's done meeting with Hugh Harris or finishing up the final conversations. We're going to see if we can get Coach Johnson over here and see. Still talking with some of the guys there. Still talking with Hugh Harris. We'll see if we can get him there. See if we can get him over in a second. Still waiting on Coach Johnson. Let me see if I can flag him down. Zachary, tell the people what you think about the games from all of tonight while I'm getting Coach Johnson.
Okay. As you can tell, the South Haven FCA game, great both sides. And like I said multiple times, if you're South Haven, keep your head held high. Great first half. And if you're danged, there's multiple times we get to the outside. We got danged to the outside. You got him into space where Crawley was able to find the open receiver. But their defense, they held strong in the first half. They just weren't able to stop him in the second half, which was big, which was absolutely huge right there. And if you're SCA, you come out here with a boatload of confidence because of how go ahead.
He'll be over in a second. You were saying?
Boatload of confidence because of how this game ended. Absolutely what you wanted. Absolutely. You wanted to come out here, and if you're Coach Johnson, you didn't necessarily have to have this one, but going down 18-0 and watching your team fight back from down those 18 points and score 23 unanswered is huge, absolutely huge for the confidence you have in a team, especially when this is both coaches' first game of 8-man. Watching that happen was great.
Now, of course, James Storrs has been involved with South Haven Christian School and the church that they're affiliated with. He's been involved with them for a long time, but finally got the nod as the head coach of the Patriots this offseason. Of course, Jason Zimmerman still on staff, as we're still waiting for Coach Johnson to get over here. I think he should be over here any second. Should see him coming over in a few seconds. But let's talk a little bit about Sacred Heart and Lancaster Christian. Of course, Lancaster losing in the semifinals against Christian Community last year and winning the consolation game. I believe they won the consolation game in 2018 in their first year in 8-man football. They've been building off of that success, and Deuce Bragg as a sophomore, it's going to be interesting to see how they play tomorrow night for their first game of the season and at home in Smyrna.
I can't wait to see Deuce. I've been waiting to see him all year. I love the way they run their offense. There's the up-tempo. It's up-tempo and everything. And how their offense runs. I like their air attack. I love the air attack. But how it's up-tempo. Deuce runs the front slot, right, throws it deep. It's kind of like the Chiefs offense. And I love watching the Chiefs offense. It's so much fun to watch, so many weapons.
Yeah, the Chiefs, that's going back to Thursday night last night, which I don't think anybody really chose the Texans to win, but they at least got some scores in there and made it interesting at the end. But at least for the victorious team in the Kansas City Chiefs. It's going to be interesting to see how they go down the stretch as we are still waiting on Coach
speaking
Johnson.
of Deuce,
yes.
he's still a sophomore, right?
Sophomore, yep.
So
he was a starting quarterback in 8th grade, and then it was his freshman year last year, and he's a sophomore. He's just getting stronger and stronger.
So you have 3 more years of Deuce if you're Lancaster.
Yep.
So really, they're in win. They're not necessarily in win now mode, but like you said, they've built up to the point to where they're at right now. And with a quarterback like Deuce, you don't really want to waste any of his years because you want to say, hey, we won the state championship in 2020, went to the national championship in 2021, and then maybe say, oh, well, we were national champions when Deuce was a senior. Because this type of talent doesn't come around often.
Now, of course, when it comes to this season, the question is if Lancaster advances in the MTAC tournament because of the way the NHSA championship is scheduled this year. It comes a weekend before the MTAC, the formerly MTAC state championship on November 21st. So it'll be interesting. Maybe Lancaster will do a Monday game and then a Saturday game if they want to. They want to win both a national championship and a state title, but of course
That's asking
depends.
a lot.
It's asking a lot of Deuce Bragg. Yeah,
it's
it's a lot of travel for Panama City Beach for several days, and then Tuesday coming back, or Monday coming all the way back to Smyrna, Tennessee. So it's pretty interesting. Well, looks like we're still waiting on Coach Johnson. Probably still talking with some of his guys and doing a full debrief. Some interesting conversations that they've been having thus far. So Casey Jorgensen, the offensive coordinator, he's in a good mood tonight. all the FCA people in a good mood tonight here at Jim Warren Park. See if Johnson is anywhere over there. I believe he's probably walked off over there. Well, thought we were going to get the coach's interview, unfortunately, but it looks like he's already left, or he's doing the full debrief with his guys. So unfortunately, it looks like we're going to have to sign off. Unfortunately, just one time where we don't get the coach's interview, and hopefully we'll